Yep.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
How you
cool.
doing, Caspi? Cool. Alright, so last we left off, you all were in a group huddle, and we were kind of deciding what to do, and decided, well, it's time to take this guy on. Turned around, ready to fight, and we left off there.
Welcome back to Monday
So
nights.
everyone should go ahead and roll me initiative.
Jumping straight into initiative from last time. Let's see how we do here. Good start all round.
Very nice, yeah. All right. As a real quick reminder about this place, there is the big bad guy in the back of a throne, and he has this big like tapestry drawn up or sewn up with a pretty ugly green looking woman with horns and a big nose. There are these two undead looking guards protecting some sort of door, and then there's some of the indentured spirits that you have fought earlier, except these ones seem to be a little frail looking compared to the other indentured spirits. These black hole things here seem to be swirling like a whirlpool. They're made of that similar black essence that is kind of just flowing over the top of your heads through the milky glass ceiling. When you look down at like the edges of it, the tops of the sandstone, you can see like little grains of sand being pulled into the center of these swirling black holes of sorts. Seem a little dangerous. But with that, Blaze, you are at the top of the round. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna use my bonus action and cast Hunter's Mark on the big bad. And then I'm asking if he happens to be humanoid or an aberration.
It will count as humanoid, yes.
Hell yes. Well then, back to Rooty Tooty Point and Shooty. Oh, Longbow, what are you doing to me? 13.
Luckily, this arrow smacks into this creature's shoulder. You can see that he's getting ready to cast some sort of a spell, but you got the top of the initiative order, and that second arrow, less good.
No, that's not the second arrow. That's I have advantage on the first shot. And I was...
Oh, we're good then. Yeah, your 13 smacks into him.
Okay, and now my second shot.
And 23 will also land. Very nice damage. Yeah, 2 arrows fly over the shoulder of Carver and Jade, kind of curving and passing through you. You two can hear a looking up at this undead-like creature. 2 arrows stick into his shoulder. He pulls back his hood, revealing his pretty gnarled-looking face, and starts to glare at you, Blaze. Anything else?
I move to where you can't see me.
Okay, very nice.
That is all.
Jade, what would you like to do?
I think I'm just gonna run up to this guy who's. I don't have to run up. I can be here? Yeah, I can. So I'll just run up here and I'll give two attacks out this guy here.
Sounds good. The 18 hits, but sadly the 10 is just a little too low.
All good, all good. So yeah, that's 12 damage, and that's all I do for now.
Smacking into this creature with this glaive as it pierces through this being's body, it almost feels like you're poking through burnt paper as you layers of burnt paper as you stab through it. It gets kind of into the center of the being, and as you pull your blade back, you see some like shadow kind of attaching onto your blade. But the light from your weapon being blessed by Avandra, the shadow gets fought off from it and kind of like reaches back into the body of the creature. It looks pretty hurt from that attack. Not bloodied, but that 12 damage did a number to it.
Okay.
The two creatures by the doors, they have some short swords in hand, but they both just hold up a finger, one towards Jade and one towards Carver, and this purplish black bolt starts to form at their fingertip. They just kind of look at each other with a crooked smile, and as they do, each bolt gets fired, one at Carver and one at Jade. Alrighty. That is a dirty 20 to Jade and a 7 to Carver.
It
You
hits.
take 9 necrotic damage, Jade.
Okay.
Carver, you see this bolt smack into the wall next to you, and it almost looks like it burns like acid, but as it goes away, you can see this almost what's the word? I guess dusted. The brick walls are just completely macerated. There we go. That's the word I wanted. After this attack. Looks pretty spoopy. Jade, your shoulder where it kind of hits in, it feels just really sore. But they stay next to the store. Carver, what do you do?
Seeing them fire that offered him will run up to them. So, so run up 35 to there.
Okay.
And make an attack against this one here. First I'll rage. And then take an attack recklessly against the first one.
Sounds good. Oof. Oh, very nice.
So yeah, there's that. 25 points of damage on the first one. And if he's still there, I will take a second whack at him again.
He is still there. You smack with this 25. Oh, holy shit!
That's enough now.
Damn!
So yeah, I do that. Another 27, I think that is, points on the second hit.
So you come forward raging after seeing Jade just get smacked by this necrotic bolt and one almost hitting you. Charging forward, you just pull out your greatsword, swirling it almost over your head in this big overhead swing. The arc coming down, slashing through the torso of this creature. You then pull back and just give a jab through the center of it. It's barely alive, but it is alive.
Carver will just stand there and just scream at the top of his lungs at him and saying, Just let us out of here with all our stuff. And that'll be it.
As you say that, the person in the throne just kind of chuckles and says, "As I said, you're my bounty. The hag needs you. So, I'm not gonna kill you here. I'm just gonna play with you. Have a little fun." Dorian, what do you do?
Seeing that they're a bit tougher than the others, I am, and this is to your discretion, but I'm assuming I can do it.
Okay.
I'm going to use Eyes of the Dark to spend 2 sorcery points to cast Darkness on myself. But I'd like to cast it on a coin. He gets a coin and flips it up, touches it with his staff and casts it on that, and then grabs it in his mouth and opens his mouth so the darkness actually just envelops him. So he can technically move it.
Okay. I love this thought process. Let me just really quick.
Because this is purely down to DM discretion, because in another game someone lets me, in another game someone else doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's an interesting wording of the spell. I will say you kind of have to bite the coin. It kind of prevents you from talking, really. You have, since it's saying can't be worn or carried, I'm fine with you putting it in your mouth and quote unquote carrying it that way. But it still needs to kind of be poking out of your mouth a little bit so that the darkness can come out. But I'll say, yeah.
Alright, then that's exactly what I do. I give a thumbs up to everyone. I'm like, you're doing great, guys. And then just cast Darkness on myself.
Alrighty. Yeah, this darkness just starts to envelop around Dorian. A 15-foot radius sphere. I'm gonna go ahead and just put a AoE circle on you, Dorian. There we go. Make it darkness. Actually, I guess I should make that available to the players. All right. Is everyone able to see a gray circle now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, good. I'll start walking up the wall, because if it's 10 feet, I'm going to try and just get out of the way a little bit, just in case he shoots and thinks I'm still in the center of that. I'm just a little bit cockeyed on the wall.
For sure, for sure.
And that's my go.
Very nice. Alrighty. The indentured spirits. The one you attacked is gonna step up a bit closer to you, Jade. One of them gonna glide on up to Carver, and then another one will glide up to you, Jade. Get 2 attacks against Jade, 1 against Carver.
It's a straight roll against Carver now.
Alrighty, so that's a unnatural 20 to hit Carver.
Yep.
So 6 necrotic damage. Have that to 3. And Jade, a 17 and a 6.
17 will hit.
Alrighty, you take 6 points of necrotic damage as well. They come forward, their claws slashing forward at you all, in a very, dang it, sorry, words are not in my mind today, in a very balanced way, I guess. It doesn't feel like these attacks are very well planned. It almost feels like an animalistic rage coming out of these creatures as they're just slashing. But as their talons make contact with Carver and Jade, some of that shadow that was on your blade, Jade, you can see reaching out from their claws, and it kind of starts to almost like stay and float around the wound, causing it to fester a bit. It doesn't look good. It hurts. But that's their turn. The bad guy. Well, his plans are a little bit ruined now. Carver. Yeah. Carver, the creature kind of looks, you see him looking back from his throne into the big shadowy pool in the back now that's just kind of taking up this hallway. He scoffs, looks at you and says, well, I guess I gotta play with you now. He holds up his staff, and this shadowy tentacle lurches out of the top of the staff and flies at you. Luckily, it doesn't hit for a 13. The shadow tendril smacks into the ground kind of in between the indentured spirit and the creature, and as it does, the tendril almost explodes out into a bunch of smaller tendrils that reach up from the ground and seem to create almost like a cage that then gets pushed down to the ground. The tentacles on them have barbs. Looks like if that would have hit, potentially not just damage, but a grapple as well. But he just chuckles from his chair. And Blaze, we're to you. The space around you is pitch black.
Yeah, cheers for that, Dorian.
Move up a little bit, and then you go that way, and just touch for the wall.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go along the wall and pop out there.
Very nice.
And then I'm hoping that I can shoot in between those two guys at the big bad.
I'll say yes because you're able to ignore cover.
Yeah.
So you're able to kind of just really skillfully weave this arrow through here. You really skillfully weave this arrow through here. Hot damn. Yeah. This guy's more than bloodied now. He's hurting pretty bad. You can see his form is starting to look like Dorian's, where it was kind of torn and flickering a bit. You can see little pieces of him starting to flake off and just float away. He's still alive.
Diagonals are 5 feet or 10 feet?
They'll be 5 feet here.
Okay, good. Because that means I can pop back in to the darkness.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's my go.
Jade, you have 2 indentured spirits in front of you. What do you do?
You said that this guy is close to dying. He's blooded, yeah?
He was close to being bloodied. You did
This
good
one,
damage
this
to
one.
him. Yes, correct.
What about the big bad guy?
Oh, sorry, the big bad guy. Yes, he is hurting pretty bad. Yeah, he's more than bloodied.
Okay, I will cast Moonbeam right where he is standing.
Very nice. He got a 5.
So he takes 8 damage. Radiant, but still.
Alrighty. 8 radiant damage goes through. He is still alive, but this moonbeam seemingly comes out of nowhere as it bursts through the ceiling of this place, illuminating some light amongst the shadows. It feels nice. He hurts though.
Okay, that would be it for me.
Alrighty. These creatures are a little angry. Carver, and they're gonna give some attacks.
Okay.
Alright, a 21 and an 8.
21 hits.
The one that's to your left that hasn't been damaged yet, very skillfully and quickly gives a fake out of one direction with his sword and then cuts in the other, giving a pretty good slice across your glowing form, dealing 6 piercing damage, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Is that 6 after, or is that 3?
Oh, 3. Thank you.
That's right, no problem. And a con save?
Correct. All right, you are good. You can see on the end of this blade there seems to be this green liquid on it that's kind of dripping off of the blade. It doesn't seem to be burning the sandstone. Your body feels like poison maybe started to take over, but you're good. You feel fine.
That's right. I have an advantage against poison.
Oh, gotcha.
But that's okay. Cool. Rolled well enough. Okay.
So his other attack misses from the one that you've damaged pretty good. What do you do?
Just quickly look over my shoulder and just call out to Jade. You doing okay there?
Yeah, still good.
Good. I'll then whack out at this one that I hit before.
Good.
I will do that. Just a regular attack.
Okay. Very nice.
So 16 points of damage. How's he looking?
He is looking pretty hurt. It looks like one more hit and he's going to go down. He's kind of kneels down at this point, starting to like shake as he's trying to stand back up.
Swipe out again at him. 19 to hit.
Very nice. That'll hit and deal plenty of damage to finish it off.
And then I'll just take a step back away from those puddle things, but stay in range with them. Yep, that's my go.
Very good. One of the enemies has fallen on the field. A few others look pretty bloodied, but a few are still pretty strong. What do you want to do, Dorian?
Okay. Would I be able to cast cantrips with that thing in my mouth, or would I have to spit it out onto the floor?
If you need verbal component to the cantrip, it's going to... You probably can't cast it if it needs verbal.
Okay, then Patui spits it onto the floor under him. Jumps down so he's on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna cast Eldritch Blast. One at this guy first.
Okay.
Would he get advantage because he's technically in darkness?
Yes. Yes, you are hidden. Oh yeah, that'll smack in.
Then I'll send another one to the same guy.
Cool, cool.
Oh,
Very nice.
rolling well tonight.
Very good. Math. It's real close to being bloodied. Took some good damage, but it's just barely above the state of being bloodied. But two Eldritch Blasts just screech out of this darkness, passing by you, Carver, smacking in, dealing force damage. You see the cloak that this creature is wearing just kind of gets blasted away in certain parts where the Eldritch Blast hits into it. Shadow just kind of splattering across the ground like ink out from the back of the creature. Looks pretty beat up. Oh, I'm a goober, that I am. I forgot indentured servants have a weakness to force. This thing is barely alive with that force weakness taken into account. It's not holding on much after those two Eldritch Blasts. Anything else?
That's gonna be it for now.
Alrighty. One attack against Carver at disadvantage, and two attacks at Jade normally. A 15 to Carver.
That misses.
And 2 6s to Jade.
Both miss.
They're starting to slow down a bit, and again, these ones are they're very clumsy in the way they're attacking. That's the word I was looking for, clumsy. Their attacks just are easy to kind of dodge and block away. They try to do damage, but sadly they don't. I forgot to do the important thing on this guy's turn last time, so he's going to be a smart person with spells and cast Mage Armor on himself this turn. And that'll be his turn. Does he have any bonus action things? Let's see. Yep, nope, that was his turn. So Blaze, we're back at the top of the round. You can see around, or well, actually, you're in darkness currently, but once you step out, you'll see that the creature in the, or the undead-like person in the throne has a shimmering blue, almost force field-like thing around him. Seems like it'll be a little harder to hit him now with arrows, or with any attack.
I don't care. Gonna try anyway.
Very nice.
I'll try again.
The 14, as you shoot it,
Damn!
the arrow just deflects off of this creature. You get very mad. Put another arrow in, just aim for right in between the eyes, and you let this arrow fly. It almost shatters the entire mage armor. You can see cracks forming through it. This arrow sticking through this guy's head, but still kind of sticking in. He's up. Just barely.
God fucking damn it, die already! I'm going back into the shadow.
Jade, we are to you.
Well, he didn't move out of his moonbeam, so he has to repeat the save. And I mean, yeah, technically.
A 12.
So he takes 13 radiant.
That was the number you needed. As this arrow smacks into him, practically breaking through the mage armor and causing it to shatter. This moonbeam still causing this burning radiant damage to be swirling around him, starts to make its way inside of the mage armor as he tries to repair it. The mage armor seals up as now this flame of radiant energy is dancing around inside this mage armor, kind of sandwiched between him, and it starts to just burn away. He starts grabbing at his head, screaming. The body starts to just slowly fade from existence. You see, dropping on the throne from where he was is this bright orange pentagon-shaped gemstone that falls onto the throne. As he perishes, or seemingly perishes, the walls around you start to crack. The glass ceiling shatters across all over the place, glass falling down onto the ground. The shadow from the outside starts to creep its way into this room. You hear a voice crackle and say, "You are much stronger than I anticipated. I may have underestimated you. But I'm far from dead. I'll be back. I will get my bounty." The voice fades. Oh, sorry. It's still Jade's turn.
Yeah. I think, yeah, after seeing him dissipate and hearing all that, I think Jade will just want to finish those two as quickly as possible, so he will attack them.
Very good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Divine Smite.
Cool.
Is it a fiend or undead?
It is an undead.
So 19 radiant. And how's is he dead? Alive?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's dead.
Nice.
The radiant damage just courses through your glaive as you stab it forward. It bursts out in a real quick flash of light. As the light disappears, there isn't a body left, only golden chains and a black cloak lying on the ground.
Yeah, and immediately after that, I give out an attack to the other one.
Yeah.
Divine Smite.
Okay.
I have only second levels left, so even more damage. And less because rolls.
Okay. It is barely alive. It is still alive. It's definitely bloodied. It is more than bloodied.
Alright, that's it. That's my turn.
Very good. Back to this guy's turn. It's just going to attack at you again with a short sword carver.
Disadvantage this time.
Oh, disadvantage. Thank you. A 13.
Misses.
It lets out just some otherworldly noise at you. It tries to terrify you, but looking at it, it seems to be doing this almost out of like a state of fear. What do you do?
I will attack it.
Very nice.
Out of not fear, just out of anger that it just took a swipe at me. I'll do that recklessly, I believe.
Oh, hot damn.
How are you guys critting so much today?
This is amazing.
Whew.
Yeah, so that's the first one. And then I'll take another one. I guess I need more than just one for this guy.
Oh yeah, that'll smack in. Another 19. Damn. Yeah, 2 swipes and this creature looks to be 1 hit away from death. Actually, all 3 that remain seem to be close to 1 hit from death. You've almost finished them all.
If if I look up, like, does it seem as if this is like a get out of this room sort of scenario, or it's just cracking without too much other issue?
The ceiling looks a little scary since the entire glass ceiling in this room and even in the hallway back where Blaze and Dorian is has just shattered. The walls themselves, though, they're cracking and breaking, but it's a much slower degrading period, it seems.
Okay. I'm just trying to work out whether I need to get through that door from what I remember, or whether we need to go back to get this urn. Carver doesn't remember, so I'll just stay where I am.
Alrighty, Dorian, where to you?
I'm gonna send one blast to that guy, and hopefully finish him off.
Okay. That'll hit. And that'll finish it.
Rightio, then I'll send my second one to that guy.
Okay. Oh yeah. And again, plenty to finish this creature off. Two Eldritch Blasts coming out of this darkness, smacking into these creatures, their shadowy forms dissipating, and the cloaks and chains being left behind. Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's it. He's gonna kick the coin up 1 square.
Very nice. Alrighty, Blaze, as we get to you, the shadow is starting to reach down from the ceiling and starting to like almost crawl down the sides of the walls. It looks pretty sketchy.
I come out of the dark. I move my hunter's mark from the dead big bad to the last dude standing.
Good.
And is he humanoid?
Yes.
You shoot.
Oh yeah, that'll smack into this creature. The piercing damage was plenty enough. The hunter's mark comes in as just extra damage. You kill this creature.
Better safe than sorry.
Carver, an arrow just starts to bend around the left side of you, and pierces into this creature underneath its chin, kind of spiking through its head. The creature falls down backwards on the ground. Combat is cleared.
We need to get out of here. He seemed to drop something up on the altar.
Yeah. I'll...
Go.
How dangerous those dudes look? Do they like pull me inside or something?
Yeah, I'll say when you're here, you can start to feel a bit of a tug. And when you start to take like one step here, you can feel that your foot kind of starts to slide in towards it. Any further, and you'll have to make a check. And athletics or acrobatics.
I've got no rope.
I can use my hand.
Do it!
We can all use our hands, Dorian.
Hold on, it's so far. And I'm going to use Mage Hand to pick up what the thing dropped.
We can't
it's
see
dark.
you.
Sorry, I'm gonna guess that the darkness is either dispelled or left back. If not, we can keep it up.
I'm kicking it. I'm like dribbling it like a football. Like, come on now, come on.
While he does that,
Very
I'm
nice.
just gonna quickly check if this door is locked or unlocked.
It is unlocked.
Okay, just I'll push it open while he's doing that.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to reveal the area, but it keeps hiding it. There we go.
Alright.
Dorian, you go forward, and I'm guessing you have Mage Hand is the hand you're talking about?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. You're able to cast out Mage Hand, and are able to pick up this bright orange, almost glowing pentagon-like gemstone.
Yeah, then I'd bring it back to me and start making our way downtown to where Carver is opening the door.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to go here, or did we need to get the urn thing?
I don't know if we have enough time to go and get the urn thing.
Okay, well, let's see what we do with this place down here. I'll quickly search these bodies while we have a chance, just in case they've got anything on them. Otherwise...
Those two bodies have, their short swords. I may have said scimitars, but if I did, I meant short sword. And they have that green liquid kind of dripping off of it. It seems to be slowly drying, but it is there.
I've got nowhere to put that stuff at the moment, so I'll just move on.
Alrighty.
I'll grab one of those short swords and just carry it with me.
Okay.
Is the roof of this room free?
It is also shattered, and the shadow at this point is starting to creep down the walls, getting close to touching onto the ground itself here, or the floor. Coming into this room, you see, this circular magical energy that is this orange that's crackling with these red bolts of lightning that shoot out and smack into the wall, causing more cracks to come through. You can see this room's walls seem to be really beat up. Around it are these rotating metal pieces moving in different rotations, one clockwise, one counterclockwise. The spikes of it kind of going clockwise, the rings around it going counterclockwise. The brass rusted rings are also kind of swirling around it. It seems to be unstable in its current state, whatever it is.
Can I try and make some kind of check to try and figure out how to use it, how to make it stable, strong and stable?
Yeah, you could do an Arcana check if you'd like. With a 13, this most likely is your way out. Being unstable, it's going to need probably some form of, I guess, catalyst to make it inert again. There was mention of the spirit in the urn, or the alep, I should say specifically. It's not a spirit, any ordinary spirit. It is an alep. May have the magic to do so. Yeah. Also, you did pick up an orange gem.
I'm gonna look at everyone and go, I'm gonna try this, and if it doesn't, we either die here, or we go and get that alep. I'm gonna put the gem in it.
Walking forward and or do you still want to use your mage hand for this?
Oh, I'm using my mage hand for everything.
Okay, perfect. Using your mage hand to float this stone over the portal as it starts to kind of get to this metal bit here. The red lightning arcing out from the center starts to tether itself onto this gem. The gem starts to be filled with energy of sorts. You're able to drop it into the center of it where the orange energy is. The red lightning, as it falls into it, arcs up to the gem and seems to like follow downwards into the portal with it. As the gem submerges into this orange energy, the lightning stops. The rotation of these mechanical bits start to move slower and in a more controlled way. Seems to be stable.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Everyone's standing on a different brass rusted ring. This orangish energy starts to envelop your bodies. You feel a familiar sense of falling almost unconscious. Not really sleep or unconscious, but it just kind of feels like you're being knocked out. Everything goes to black. Silence. Nothingness. Not sure how long been out, but you all open your eyes. Outside of that encampment where you were fighting the bandits initially, laying on the ground, next to you are piles of dust where the bandits were. Wherever your bodies were last is where you wake up. The sky above you is night. You seem to have all of the gear on you that you had previously. Before being put into this thing. Jade, looking at your hand, you still seem to be carrying the short sword, as well as whoever was carrying the red gem, also has that. And then the magic items that were picked up out of the chest also seem to be on you as well. Or on whoever has those items. But really quick, I need to take a break, but I'll be back in just 5 minutes or so.
Problem, I'll go and grab a drink myself.
Sorry for a little bit of an early break, but...
It's okay.
No worries.
Cool.
We can feed our cats at the same time.
There you go. Back in 5. Back in 5. Back again. That was interesting. So 6 natural 20s in 2 rounds of battle, so it's effectively an additional round of attacks effectively. So that's pretty amazing. It's this
I am back.
capability as part of
Hello.
part of it. So yeah, much quicker. Anyway, let's see how the rest of it goes. I'm back as well. 6 natural 20s in a round and a half or 2 rounds.
Hot damn.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely amazing.
Like, it was so good. That fight could have been a little bit harder if all of those 20s weren't rolled.
Yeah, exactly. And the damages were rolled pretty high as well.
Yeah. But hey, that's awesome. I will take an easy combat if it's just the party rolling 20s.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Or an easier combat.
It can always work the opposite way as well. So
Yes, it can. It's more fun when the players do it, though.
Mm-hmm. True.
When the DM does it, when you start rolling a lot of 20s as a DM, you're just like, oh, ow, I don't, it's not supposed to be this.
Yeah. Sorry for the pain that I'm about to cause you.
Yes.
Very cool. Trying today an alcohol-free drink. So let's see how we go. Alcohol-free Monshoff Naturtrub. Let's see how it goes. Still on the no alcohol. tasty. Also got a eucalyptus tea as well. So let's see how that goes. Notice. uh, sharing some Discord chats at the moment.
Why is this a loot crate video? I mean, it's a cool video. I'm all for it. But why loot crate?
They have more of those. There's like that's the thing now. Apparently, how they announce
Really?
the theme of the crate.
Oh,
It
that's
was back
really
in the
cool.
day.
Oh, it's old.
It's 2016.
Oh, it's old.
Wow.
That's cool.
It's pre-corona stuff.
Right. Yeah, I've been watching movies,
hardly
and when people
remember.
are in airports, every time I have this moment of just my stomach dropping, being like, why are people here? Oh yeah, this is one, fiction, two, it's pre-corona times, so
It's actually pre-Trump. Oh my god.
yeah, that too.
Oh wow.
That too.
See the bright colors in the video? Oh.
No, no, I can't even see those anymore. It's all dull and grey now.
Yeah,
It's now just one.
the world is just black and white.
It's now just one guy sitting there singing sea shanties. This is where we're at. The world used to be colourful. Although to be honest,
Alrighty.
I love sea shanties, so I shouldn't.
Oh,
comment.
yes. Best part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the she shanties.
The sea shanties.
The she shanties, yes.
Sean Connery sea shanties.
But really quick, I did actually want to retcon one thing. As you all teleported out, well, quote unquote teleported out, you all hear a voice kind of echoing through the halls, from the undead light guy he says, you may be escaping now, but don't forget, I'm after you. I will get my bounty confirmed. Be back. Next time it won't be so easy to escape my soul. And then you teleport out. Also, everyone can essentially have the effects, or not essentially, you all have the effects of a long rest. All health spell slots, all of that stuff comes back.
Way.
And we leveled up. Cool.
Sadly not.
Oh.
It's worth
It's okay. We go back in.
It's worth a try.
But yeah, as you wake up back at this campsite that the bandits tried to trap you at and get a jump on you all, it is nighttime now. Whereas when you started this, it was pretty early-ish early afternoon, early morning time.
Were we just laying around all this time, passed out?
seems that way. Blaze, as you wake up, Peanut is licking your arm a little bit and seems to be sitting around you. Carver, on kind of laying on your chest, is the little chimestone creature. The two of them seem to have been keeping watch. Blaze, you hear in your mind Peanut say, You fell unconscious, and I couldn't, or you fell asleep and I couldn't wake you up. It made me sad, but I protected you, and I protected the others as well. A bear came by at one point, but I growled at him, scared him off.
That's it. That's it. But Peanut's the best character in the entire game. Everyone else can go home. Blaze strokes over the head and feeds it some jerky and explains what happened to her.
Peanut just wags the tail and says, well, I'm glad you're safe now, and sits beside you and happily eats the jerky. It's adorable. So appears to be nighttime. You are a little ways out from the town of Gordon, not too far. But you did have the intentions of making your way to the Hearthstone Peaks, to try to find the old forgotten dwarven civilization of Nerazim. What would you like to do?
Do we have anything in town that we need to go back for?
The cart. Wait, the cart.
I bought this gift.
The cart and everything. It's hilarious.
Fucking comedy gold.
That is amazing.
That's hilarious.
James can no longer play today because that one gift has destroyed him.
He's done.
I mean, I don't blame him.
I was just looking for tail wag gifts and I came unprepared. If it hits you without warning.
It's not just that, but it's the fact that the dog looks back just also like what
Yeah.
what's going on?
Humans, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
You guys are making a fool of me, aren't you? Again.
Are you laughing at me?
I'll pee in your shoes.
Alright, gotta look away. Gotta look away. Look away now.
I accidentally just exited out of my browser tabs. So I'm loading back into Roll20 right now. Thank God for Control-Shift-T on Chrome to bring back all of the tabs you just closed. Whew. I believe, yes, the cart is still back in Gordon, just because you ran after and tried to follow these people. But besides that, I don't think there's anything else in Gordon you all needed to do, unless I'm forgetting something.
No, I think that was all we had to do.
Yeah, I can't recall anything else as well.
Alrighty. Where are you going then?
Should we go back and get the cart, or maybe have one more night of sleep and then get going? I mean, this guy was just chasing us. He had nothing to do with the myriad in the town, right? Isn't the myriad also having an issue in the town? Or the town's having an issue with the myriad?
All right. I think we were discussing, like, telling someone about myriads, but if those were these guys, then the problem is kind of taken care of.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's quite late now, so maybe I mean, I feel fine. I don't need to take a rest. We could probably get going, but
Is it like very early morning or like a very late night? Before midnight or after midnight?
Seems to be pretty close to midnight. I would say seems probably like just before midnight. Anywhere between 11 to midnight.
I don't know about all of you, but I feel really refreshed.
Yeah. We don't have to waste time, I don't think.
I mean, we did agree that if the myriad was causing trouble, then once we'd sorted everything out, it wasn't really our place, and Johnny was more of a topic, so they weren't so welcoming to us, so I'm happy to get going. So
We should get going, yes.
Agreed.
and then I'll put Stony on my shoulder, and put the hood over and get ready to go. Your name will now be Stony.
At you and claps its little hands together as you say that.
Okay, this is the moment where I reveal to the people that don't know that Stony is the ship name for Steve Rogers and Tony Stark.
You say that, but I actually have here as Stony Curtis as a name.
Nice.
So his last name is Curtis, first name Stony. But yes, that's also
Yes.
very cool.
Very nice. Alrighty. Gathering up the cart then and getting ready to go onto the road. The party gets ready to travel to the Hearthstone Peaks. So, the Hearthstone Peaks, from where you are, you can make a pretty straight line. And you kind of have to go around these mountains a bit, go through the Silt Basin Pass, but then you can just kind of head over these hills right before the Hearthstone Peaks and get right into the mountains. It will mean, if you do this, that if the entrance to the Nerazim Dwarf place isn't at the north end of the mountains, you will have to walk through all of them until you find it. The other option would be to come through kind of the more middle, one of the more middle sections and try to just go either way. But again, that also has its drawbacks. Either way, however you go about getting it, to get to the Hearthstone Peaks is going to take about 4 days' time. As long as the Silt Basin Pass doesn't keep you up again. There doesn't seem to be a bunch of clouds in the sky, so it doesn't seem that it's going to rain like it was previously. You should be relatively okay to get through the Silt Basin Pass. And as long as that happens, it'll take about 4 days worth of travel. for the first day, goes pretty easy. You are traveling at night. You do see like a couple of more nocturnal animals that are out. Raccoons and possums seem to be scurrying all over the place. You even see a couple of skunks along the way. One of them, Kelpie, gets a little close to one of them and it looks like it's about to spray, but Blaze is able to steer the cart away so that you don't get completely sprayed with skunk spray. But besides that, pretty uneventful day, and you're able to camp down for the night. Or, well, I guess not night. I guess that would be my question. You can travel pretty much for like an entire day and a half, I guess, because you have midnight. Yeah. So you get a day and a half worth of travel done here. Which would bring you to just about like the edge of the Silt Basin Pass and the grassy hill area that is before Gordon. You're kind of in that in-between area where the ground is starting to become a marshy clay consistency, but there's still a good amount of patches of different foliage and flora. Do you want to camp down after a day and a half worth of travel, or do you want to keep going? Also, if you want to have conversations during this travel, feel free.
I'll just be relatively quiet in the first day of travel. From my point of view, just reading my book.
Okay.
Yeah, Jade is going to be kind of lost in thought for some of this time as well.
Okay, Blaze is going to suggest that we do stop after a day and a half and take some rest because there's no point in us exhausting ourselves, and if we get attacked then, we'd be at a disadvantage, so we should just rest up for a couple of hours and then get going again.
Sounds good. Let's do that. I'll actually now, and Dorian probably is not a sort of, up until there I met Dorian as I am, but I'll just hand out to Blaze and to Jade just before we go to bed. I'll hand over just 5 packs of rations to each of them.
Oh, no, actually, I forgot to give you this guys earlier, but I actually bought some food while in town, and this doesn't look like much, and I take out some of those small baked goods from La Pan's, but it's super filling. You guys should try it, it's really good, and I will give each one a portion of this.
And I'll just, Jade, I feel guilty now that I've been I don't really taste these wonderful, amazing things that you're giving me. So feel free to have it yourself. I don't want to waste this amazing tasting thing that, I mean it, yeah. But thank you for the offer.
I think whether you can taste it or not, maybe you can feel it some other way. I don't exactly know how your senses work, but I bought it to share it with you, so feel free to have it and do with it what you want.
Okay, if it makes you feel if it makes you happy, that gives me good sense. Okay, and I'll take it from him and start to nibble. But I'll hand out, just sort of 5 rations, 5 days worth of rations to each of you guys, to Blaze and to Jade. having sort of been eating their stuff over the last few weeks.
Very nice.
So you can each have one of them.
All right, for this first night of camp, who is taking watch first? We'll need, is it 3 watches? I'm sorry, I always forget.
However many this place will be taking first watch.
Okay.
I think it's 4 watches you technically need.
I was just thinking it would make more sense if they said one in the middle, so someone else could get uninterrupted.
So the way the way my sleep works, which I haven't talked about up until now, and I'll post it in here because I don't know how you interpret this really, but effectively it says that I need to spend 6 hours inactive, so doing nothing, but I am still conscious and can still hear and see. So I technically can just sit there and listen and watch the entire time, but just won't. So I'm always on watch. Effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah.
It's the way I read it. So I can literally just always be on watch if they want. And as a barbarian, I can't be. I can't be. What's it called? Surprised.
Nice.
So anyway, I'm happy to sit there and keep watch for each of them, or however you all wish to do it.
Well, for most others, a long rest is 8 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So if you... Yeah. I don't know. Blazer only has 4 hours of trance, and then you can just be there and keep watch with you.
Yeah, I'll say between Blaze and Carver, Carver can always kind of just sit there as a watch post, but then as with help later, after just 4 hours of trance, Blaze can come in and help as well. And I think honestly that'll cover your watch, unless you want to still kind of swap out. But the two of them can work to cover it if you would like.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, because I think they
The breeze of freedom.
the other two only need 6 hours of sleep, right? And then 2 hours of just relaxation, right? So they can spend their 2 hours whenever they want. Sounds good. I just won't talk during my watch, but you can talk to me if you want to.
Because we all know Blaze is a talker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, during watch, Carver, give me a perception check, and then Blaze, as you come in for your watch after that first 4 hours, I'll have you give me a perception check as well. Pretty uneventful night. Pretty quiet. Carver, you get the sense that the Silt Basin Pass just doesn't have as much animal life here as other places. It's a pretty quiet night. The most noises that you hear are crickets chirping in the night, but besides that, an easygoing rest. And same with you, Blaze. It's just a quiet night. The stars are out. Here, it's just very flat. So you just have this massive dome of stars around you. You can see the two moons, Katha, and I'm forgetting the name of the second one, but it's much smaller and is kind of harder to see. But in this clear night, it's a pretty beautiful sight to see. You all wake up and are ready to do the next leg of the journey, packing up camp and getting ready to go. I want somebody, anyone in the group, roll a d6 for me.
Go for it, Jade. Oh, or Blaze. Woohoo!
Oh,
4's good. Like it.
Okay, a 4. All right. So you all travel for a bit, going through the Silt Basin Pass. Last time you were here, it wasn't too pretty. It was a rough time, and Carver had his mind messed with. There were spoopy people, there were fiends. They tried to scare you all. It wasn't fun. But luckily this time, with it being clear skies and no storms going on, the clay fields of this place are hard and dry. They are almost cracking already, even though they had so much water from the previous rain just a few days ago. Off in the distance, you can hear the sound of what almost sounds like a thunderstorm going on. But you looking around don't really see any clouds anywhere.
Something's happening up ahead.
Would you like me to try and have a look?
I think makes... Yeah, go... Yeah.
I'm a navigator from ships, so it's kind of my job.
Okay. Show us what you can do.
Hey, very good. Off in the distance, Dorian, taking a good gander through the sky, across this very flat land, I would say about half a mile or so away, which would be about almost a kilometer away, you see a burst of fire reach up from the air, or from the ground and going into the air. You then see it get splashed down with water. A whirlwind of air starts to just take up and swirl that around. And then you see some, what appears to be like shrapnel from rocks just flying through the air. As the rocks fly through the air, everyone feels like a soft earthquake. It's not big, but it's a small little, almost like an aftershock feeling. Yeah.
Huh. Looks like elements are being used over there. There's fire, there's wind, there's water and earth.
does it look like they're fighting? Like someone's fighting?
Does it look like they're fighting or working together?
A 21's pretty good. You haven't seen people yet? So it's kind of hard to tell, but if elements like this are clashing, something's probably fighting.
Well, I don't see people actually using the elements, so it's either actual element beings or they're in hiding, but they're kind of clashing quite badly, so they might be fighting.
Is this in the salt basin, or are we on the other side of it by now?
You're kind of in it right now. Here, I'll move your token. I'd say you're kind of about halfway through it currently.
Okay. How far away is it?
It's about a kilometer away. kind of just further south from you.
So we have to go in that direction.
You could try to go around it if you would like. Up to you.
What's your feeling, Navigator? Or Jade?
Yeah, Dorian, what do you think?
Well, I mean, where is it down there we have to go?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess we have to go past it.
Do we want to...
We did just defeat some weird shadowy being, so...
Do we want to get closer? Or do we want to try to go around?
Let's not get too close, but I don't see why we would have to put more time on the journey than we already are.
Okay. I'm feeling...
But maybe let's also not try not to go directly at it. Let's keep to the right side of it, even if as we pass by, just to, be safer.
All right. Agreed.
Okay. Choosing to kind of take a more wider berth around this place and getting... do you want to get closer to the mountainside or closer to the coastal side?
Closer to the coast.
Okay. So you kind of veer off, I guess that'd be to the right, and... or I guess to the west, there we go. Whew. And the coastline is a little bit more in view, and as you start to make your way kind of around this, making a bit of like a semicircle of a path, you can start to see what's causing this. A little bit. There starts to be a little clump of trees popping up. They are surprisingly colorful for the silt basin. I'll say you're about a good 150 feet away, if that's okay from them. Too close, too far?
I mean, do they seem like they're paying any attention to us at all?
They don't. But what you do see is 4 different elementals, one of each type, fighting each other pretty ferociously. Some of the trees in the area are starting to catch fire. The ground around them is starting to get torn up. The wind is just causing devastation to the roots of these trees. They seem to be pretty angry with each other.
Ha, I was right. Elements.
This, I've never seen anything like this before. I have no idea what. Wow. I mean, I've seen the windy thing that you put in that Scarlet put in the caves, in the mine, but that's amazing. Could we get a little bit closer? A little bit. I would be really cool to see. I don't know. They also look pretty dangerous.
Let's go on foot. The cart is made of wood, so let's not risk it. Banning it, I mean.
Okay. Maybe the cart goes sort of away so that we can run to it if needed, but not have to run backwards. Or sort of, if Kelpie can do that for us.
Kelpie gives a bit of a nod and kind of stomps one of her feet down into the ground. Yeah.
She's good.
Okay.
Righty. Stepping forward a bit more to get a little bit closer to these creatures. Around 100 feet or so. Getting a little bit closer, you can see kind of at the center of where they're fighting. They seem to be almost kind of like in a circle, or just kind of across from each other. There seems to be some sort of ritual circle and a dead body laying inside the circle. As you're at about 100 feet close to it, everyone feels, at this point, a pretty familiar sensation that something wants to connect and talk to you in your mind. It's not going to try to enforce a save. It just is asking politely. It's asking consent if it can talk with you in your mind. But each one of you feels that.
Does it feel fiendish, demonish?
Sorry, what?
Does it feel like a fiend, like a demon?
Oh no.
Wrong question.
Yeah, Dorian allows it.
That was the wrong question.
What? Okay. But I'm audible, right? My internet isn't fucking up again.
No, we heard you. I think Keno's having a problem with his Discord, apparently. But it was just funny. It was like, is it fiendish or devilish? Blunk. And he goes away. I do not wish to answer.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello.
Is it any better now?
Yes, sorry, my Discord just...
No worries.
No audio for you anymore. Alright, sorry. Last I heard was... Kaspi, you were saying something about it. The feeling of it trying to...
Yeah. Does it feel like it's coming from a fiend, from a demon, fiendish, demonish?
It doesn't feel like it's coming from any of those.
Okay, so Jade will allow it.
Does anybody else allow it?
Yep. Dorian does.
Carver is definitely not allowing it.
Blaze?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Dorian and Jade. Jade, you feel a mental connection click with the water elemental, and Dorian, you feel a mental connection click with the fire elemental. The water elemental says to you, Jade, join me and help me fight the others, and I will spare you. It's a little shocking. Usually they can't speak common. Dorian, you hear from the fire elemental. Join me and help me fight off the others, and I will spare you. Sorry, spare is wrong. I wrote down spare. Let me reword that. And I will reward you. Reward is the word they use, not spare.
Ah. 'Cause it's
Sorry,
like,
that's a
"I'll
much
spare
nicer
you."
thing.
It's like, bitch, I'm going then.
I'm gonna draw you all to a map. You are in this map closer than what I actually imagine you to be to these creatures. But I just thought I would switch it up for the visual. Oh, I didn't put the dead body in there. Let me find a dead body real quick.
Things you can only
It's a
see in
weird
D&D.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, so Jade and Dorian, you hear that sentence in your mind.
Did any of you listen or hear from the elementals?
Yes, the water elemental asked me to join him and fight the others, and in turn, they will spare us.
For me, the fire elemental said the same thing, but instead of spare, it was reward.
I'm with Dorian on this one. Reward sounds good.
I'm pretty sure the water one did say reward as well.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry,
both
Jade.
okay, sorry. I thought on Dorian's. Okay, so yeah, they both will reward us.
I mean, I'm a seafaring folk. I kind of want to side with water, but fire's more powerful.
There are also other two that didn't necessarily connect with us. Should we maybe try to find out what's happening exactly first?
Why not? I mean, they know we're here.
We only live once, and I start to approach. Hello, excuse me.
Okay. You do that, all 4 elementals just turn back, stopping their fighting, and just slowly look back at you, Jade. The water elemental almost has this like look of hopefulness in its eyes. The fire elemental kind of keeps darting its eyes over towards Dorian. The air and earth elementals seem to be a little bit more scared in a way. But they kind of hold for a bit. They don't respond, but they are looking at you.
Yes, hello. I assume all of you can understand me. Is that correct?
The water one nods its head. In a yes way, nods it up and down. Or it's it kind of makes like an amoeba of a head and a pseudopod of a head, and raises it up and down.
Splendid. Could we by any chance establish a similar connection that your friend there and your other fire friend has with my friend? Just between all of us, so that me, my friend Dorian here, and all 4 of you share this connection, so we can all hear and understand each other. I think this would really make it much easier for us to communicate in this peculiar situation. Would that be possible, friends?
The water they all just kind of in unison shrug, but the earth elemental, as he shrugs, kind of like tosses his arm forward and a rock flies towards the fire elemental. The fire elemental turns around, spits a flame out of his hand, and just melts the rock down, and immediately they start fighting each other again.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. I take another step forward. Excuse me! Hello! We were talking!
They again kind of slowly turn back to you. This time they all seem to be a bit more annoyed.
I would hope to help you resolve what is happening around here. I mean, you reached out to us for our help, right? So let's try to understand each other a bit better, right?
You hear in your mind from the water elemental Jade, it just says, fight. 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 And then shoots a spurt of water at the fire elemental.
Okay. Any ideas, Dorian? I don't think I'm getting through to them.
Everyone pick a favorite, and I guess we're doing this.
Just what are they fighting about?
Oh, we can walk away. We can walk away. Well, they're not apparently talking. They don't want to talk. They just want to fight.
I'll say, Dorian, you can roll an Arcana, and Jade, or anyone with an int 12 or higher can also roll some sort of, I guess, an Arcana check. Yeah, Arcana is really the only thing that's gonna fit here.
No, I'm just convinced they just want to fight. It's like, I don't know what they want. They just want to fight.
Okay.
How about insight? Would that be relevant?
Yeah, I'll let you do an insight. Okay. Yeah, Dorian, you're just convinced these things are just they just want to fight. Carver, looking at the ritual circle a bit closer and the dead body in it, the clothing seems to imply that this person was probably a wizard of sorts by their expensive cloak. They have kind of a satchel that seems to be in the circle as well that is opened up and looks like maybe someone's kind of scrounged through it. Looking around the circle, there are different, the north side of it has a granite rock, the east side has a bowl of water, the south side has a small fire of dried grass leaves and small twigs, and the west side has a burning incense that is letting off a lot of smoke, but seems to have a neutral smell. The circle definitely is what brought these elementals into existence. So because they're conjured, it's weird that they're fighting each other if they were conjured by the same thing. Well, that's what you're able to pick up from. Jade, your insight lets you know that these people just seem like a bunch of drunk American frat boys at a party who are just trying to fight. Like they are pretty angry with each other. And it seems that anger is kind of taking over any other emotion.
Well, I mean, it's obvious that this is linked to the circle. Maybe he lost control and fell dead, or like, is there anyone else around? Anything else around the area that looks out of place other than the fighting elementals?
Other than them, not a whole lot. I guess actually, Carver, you do notice a bit more on the ritual circle. There seems to be a pool of blood as well under the body. That's kind of an important detail that I forgot to say.
Okay, let me see something, and I'm just going to walk right towards that circle and see if anyone reacts.
The elementals are pretty caught up fighting. I mean, it's a little dangerous in here. There's bolts of fire and rocks just being thrown. Air is throwing this shit around while water is splashing around. You're kind of in the splash zone, and as you're looking around and kind of carefully maneuvering, staying a little bit lower to the ground, you're able to get up to this body, but they seem to be ignoring you all for the time being.
Is it dead?
Yeah. This person here is definitely dead. Getting a bit closer, it seems that all of their possessions and belongings, besides their cloak and their socks, have been taken. Their boots have been taken, sadly. There's a pool of blood coming out. This person is chest up. From their back, there is a pool of blood just, I guess, leaking out. It seems to be pretty wet still. A little dried, but there's still some wetness to it. You could roll a plethora of different checks if you want to. Just argue which one you'd like from me.
Okay. I think medicine makes sense, but I just do.
Medicine check would definitely work here.
Nope.
Yeah, it's the one thing you can tell is you kind of lift up the body just a little bit to look at the back, and peeking underneath of it, there's definitely a stab wound in the back. Something sharp went into the body. That's all you can get.
Uh, what do you make of this circle, Carver?
I mean, other than the fact that he seemed to have summoned these things, but if that's a stab wound, what stabbed it? Can we see anything else around? Is there any, like, there's nothing up the trees, or there's... I don't think I'd be able to... I can't see invisible people, but... is there...
You can give me... if you want to look, like, around the place for other clues, you can either give me an investigation, a survival, if you kind of want it to be more of, like, tracking somebody, or something. It could be nature, even, just to see if there's something out of place within nature.
So he's facing up with the stab
Correct.
wound in the back, which means, or the dagger in the back, which means he's been placed where he is. People don't just fall back and not have a stab wound still in it, right? So, like, that would be my sort of thought process on someone else has done this to him. He hasn't just accidentally fallen on a dagger. Can I do maybe a survival check to sort of get a bit of an idea, like, from which direction did it get dragged here, or did it get dragged here? Maybe a survival
Yeah, you
check,
give me
or...
a survival check for that.
Doesn't help too much.
It's a little hard to tell. The blood seems to be pooled in this area. There aren't any, like, drag marks of blood around you. That's all you're able to really pick up.
Blaze,
Could
Dorian, Jade, what the hell's going on?
just give me 1 second. I will cast Detect Magic. And see if I get anything.
Okay. You definitely get a conjuration ping from the ritual circle itself. The elementals also have conjuration magic emanating from them. Besides the other magic items that are on the party that you would expect to light up and give you a ping, nothing else here is doing it for you. The body has no magic items on it or around you, other than the ones you would expect to see.
Alright, is there a way to destroy this circle?
Yeah, looking at it, it's kind of drawn up with a bunch of, or not a bunch, sorry, this very dry, it's not necessarily chalk, it kind of looks like a really thick white ink, maybe?
Blaze is gonna try and smudge it with his foot.
Okay. Smudging it, it still seems to be kind of wet, and as you push your foot through it, you realize, oh, that's not ink, that's definitely bird poop. You start to break the ritual circle, and the circle starts to go inert. As it does, the elementals start to kind of like flicker out of existence. Do you want to fully break the circle?
Yeah.
Okay. You kick the circle and break the ritual line, and as you do, all 4 elementals, one by one, fade away.
You all are welcome.
Oh. Well, that's yeah, I'm not the smart one. That's a very good job, Blaze.
Thank you. So, now for the real mystery, who murdered the guy?
just for fancies, I will lay on hands on him. Just I don't expect it to do anything. Just for fancies.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'll cast, or rather, not cast. Just I will do lay on hands on him, on the dead body, just for fancies.
Okay. You use lay on hands, and the body. You can see there's almost like this pained expression on this person's face. Their eyes still open, but they seem to be pretty dead. You use lay on hands, and some of the wound from the back heals up a little bit, but no life seems to come back to this person.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Dorian, looking at this body, it's definitely been robbed of all of its goods. Anything important that it was on this person, long gone. I mean, the cloak probably could fetch a good price, but everything else that was worth anything that would have been on this person isn't here.
Well, he's dead. He's robbed. I don't think any more could happen to this poor bloke.
Maybe we should leave so we're not the next one, so this kind of stuff happens to.
I will just kneel down and close his eyes, and then, alright, let's skedaddle.
Moving onwards, getting back into the cart. Continue onwards on your travels. Hearthstone Peaks. Or Hearthstar. Keep saying Hearthstone. It's Hearthstar. Make your way for the rest of the day traveling through here, and you are able to make it almost out of the Silt Basin Pass. Off in the distance, you can see the hills from the Tyoden Byway. But night comes. Would you like to camp? You have now traveled for 2.5 days of your 4 days of travel.
Yeah, let's camp.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and I'm gonna guess just kind of similar watch thing that we did earlier, where Carver will take first watch and kind of also subsequently the majority of the watches, and then Blaze can wake up after the 4-hour trance and continue to help out. We don't need to give perception checks tonight, it's fine, it goes over. And you're able to all get a full rest in and pack up for travel for the next day. Unless, of course, there's any conversations you would like to have.
Should we talk about it? Like what happened? I mean, we went to a different dimension. We know that we are being actively haunted, and Dorian, you've been brought into something that isn't even necessarily your problem.
I got paid for the job in certain ways. It's my problem.
Are you curious why this happened? Why he was after us? Why this bounty is after us?
I thought it would come to pass eventually. I wasn't gonna pry. I've heard many tales of people getting too close to hags, was it? I mean, I've even heard tales of people sort of shacking up with hags, but that's their own business.
This kind of ties back to why we're here, you know, and Jade will shortly tell Dorian about the hag and Johnny and everything in Palma Flora.
Right. So we're saving a little kid then.
Yes. This whole ritual, it's for him. He was cursed by that hug.
Noble. Definitely noble. Strange that they got a bunch of randoms to do this, but definitely a noble effort.
Just I know you've been paid and all, but if you feel that this might be, not for you, then no one would be mad if you decided to walk away. We would understand, but we really appreciate that you're here.
I said I got paid, didn't say I got paid everything. And besides, I did mean what I said. Oh, I do want to help. And the best way to prove that you can help is staying and sticking around. And actually, getting your hands dirty and helping.
We appreciate it. We will need all the help we can get. That's a feeling I got. So what was happening with your form back there? You were flickering, similar to Carver. Something else?
Does Carver still look half like robotic?
Yeah.
Or does he look human? Okay. Oh, looking at Carver and myself, we're not exactly, fully humanoid, I suppose. Per se. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Carver is sort of half-made. Are you similarly? Like, do you have some? What's your thing? Like, why are you not fully human?
You ever pass through Port Damali?
I am from Port Damali, actually.
Ever heard of a tale of someone called the Devil's Grin?
Did I?
I'll leave that one to you. You're a citizen of Port Damali and have been for a while. There's probably good chance that you would have. But that's up to you.
I think most people in Port Damali did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a reason why I'm called the Devil's Grin. And he sort of grins and this like sharp fangs show.
What? It's about you. I thought it was like a legend. It's real. It's about you.
Aye, it's about me. I'm the Devil's Grin. Purely from the grin. I'm not exactly fully humanoid. I got some undead swishing around in there.
That's yeah. That complicates it a bit.
Not undead as in, and he sort of does like weird mummy, sort of like, but more like vampire, blood drinker.
Okay, yeah, a good vampire?
Well, I haven't eaten from any of you. Take that as you will.
Jade will activate his divine sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I get anything for like?
That's a good question.
As an action, you can detect good and evil, and location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet.
What is your alignment, Dorian? Good or evil? Or neutral?
Chaotic good.
You get a sense of there's good there. It's a little sporadic, but there's a sense of good from this person. Not the same scent you'd expect to get from a vampire or an undead.
Well, I'm a strong believer in people's free will, undead or otherwise. I'm not gonna judge. So far, you've proven yourself an ally, so I'm gonna give you a benefit of the doubt. That's alright.
I mean, to be honest, I chose this life, so
You chose to be a vampire.
There was someone I had a fleeting fancy with, shall we say, who was a full vampire. And one thing led to another, and I was gonna become his life partner. But people in the town found out that he was turning someone, which they did not like. And he ran. I ran. We all ran.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
It wouldn't have lasted.
Have
We would
you
have gotten on each other's nerves within a week.
have you tried looking for him?
Every now and then I put out feelers. But honestly, I have other things to sustain my curiosity. And at this, you see him bring out a cup. You see him bring out the alchemy jug that Scarlet left and pour some water in it. And uses 2 different cantrips. Shape water to make it look blood red. And prestidigitation to make it taste like blood.
Well, it couldn't be easy losing a loved one. I know a bit about this. It stays with you. This feeling of what might have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. But honestly, if it was meant to be, it will happen.
I'd like
One
to
way or
believe
another.
that as well. Yeah. Well, let's drink to that, shall we?
Oh, just to warn you in the group now, I don't know who's awake, that eventually I will have to drink actual blood, otherwise I'll go onto a rampage. And he just casually sips his drink.
Jade does nods and sips his drink as well.
Blaze opens an eye and turns around and says, I vote we kill him now.
I don't know whether Carver can talk while he's in this. I assume he can. He can hear, he can see or whatever. Just can't move. Is that right? Because otherwise Carver... It's an interesting one. I can see, I can hear, I can come out of it, but I can't talk, right? I'm inactive. I heard it all, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I heard it all, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say anything.
I bring this up because I'd want to ask willingly if someone were to give like a vial of blood. If not, I'll find it somewhere else.
Yeah. So Carver can't, so he's okay. Like...
Well, if it comes to this, I'd rather you drink my blood than some innocent, some unaware people.
Oh, I haven't taken blood from an unwilling since I was turned. It's all consensual.
Well, feel free to ask if you need it. I will pray on it and get back to you.
Is there any
that.
trees around? Because he would have made a hammock. That's his preferred.
Yeah, there's a few trees around in this area. They're kind of sparse and in between, but you find a couple that you're able to lay up a hammock.
Because he has a trinket of a black pirate flag adorned with a banshee, and he uses that as a hammock.
Very nice. But with that, you all rest for the night. Watch goes easy, and you're able to pack up and get ready for the next morning of travel. Somebody roll me a d6.
I got it this time.
Okay. So, you make your way on with travel. And as you're going through, starting to move from the Silt Basin Pass into these hills, and some of the hills from the Tyoden byways, and getting back into some flat, greener, forested land, your travel, for the most part, goes pretty easy. You do see a couple of people come by. They seem to be merchants of sorts, dealing in spices and other things like that. If you want to stop them, you sure can. Otherwise, they just kind of pass by on cart and give you that hand wave and keep going. But as you continue on through this land, Blaze, you start to hear... It's kind of hard to place where exactly the sound is coming from, but it almost sounds like there's marching coming from the distance. This very steady, just... And it sounds like footsteps, but it's just kind of almost echoing around you. Yeah.
I let the group know. But I don't know what it is. I don't know even if it's humans or anything, but something is coming. Maybe we should become a little less visible.
Oh yeah, for sure. Pass me start chase.
Okay. You cast Pass Without a Trace, and the cart's wheels, as they're turning, become silent. The sleds, as they're kind of scraping against the ground sill, are no longer making noises. Kelpie's footsteps no longer are making a steady... a soft, gentle impact with the ground now. You seem to be pretty obscured from other stuff. You're able to kind of keep close to a tree line to kind of stay in shadows. But as you're traveling, this sound doesn't go away. It doesn't get closer, but it doesn't go away either. It's just kind of this nebulous, sourceless sound that is just constantly there, of just off in the distance, the sound of marching. But you continue to travel for your day, still hearing this sound throughout all of it. Off in the distance, you can start to see the Hearthstar peaks off in the horizon. You have another half day's worth of travel until you'll get there, so you're probably actually a little bit closer. Off in the distance, you can see a pretty good-sized lake. You've seen this lake before when you went through the Vezdaweld Woods from the Port Damali way. But you still hear those footsteps. At this time, night starts to fall, and it's about ready for time to make a camp. But you do only have half a day left to travel, so if you want, you can just make it up to the base of the mountains, or you can just camp out for the night here and make the rest of the trip tomorrow.
Do all of us hear this marching on the
Yeah, after Blaze kind of heard it that first time, and points it out to you all, you're all able to hear it.
Which direction
It'll-
they coming from?
It's kind of just this nebulous, sourceless sound. Every time you turn your head thinking you've pinpointed it, it feels like it's coming from the other direction. So you turn your head that way, and now it feels like it's coming from another direction. It's very hard to pinpoint. If you want, before it does become nightfall, you can try to spend some time to explore and find the noise if you want. I did kind of just skip over that. Don't want that to feel like it's not a potential option.
I think it's going to be pretty hard to sleep with this marching constantly around us. So we either should make a way forward and try to get away from it, or try to find it.
We best continue on then.
I mean, can we at least try to work out what the hell this is?
As we travel, as we travel forward, I will keep a close eye around us, around the woods and whatnot, to just see if I see anything.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a perception check. We could also, Blaze, because you're a ranger, let's also have you just roll me a nature check. Or survival. Oh, hot damn.
Nice.
Okay. And that perception's really good too. Jade, staring off into the trees, kind of watching them, you see, for like a split second as you pass by, there's like a small clearing, a small gap in between some of the trees, a small little clearing, if you will, and as the cart kind of passes by it, you swear for a split second you see a pretty good-sized looking insect kind of fly through the trees, but then it takes cover again beneath the other tree coverage. Blaze, you start to sit on the sound for a bit and think about it. You haven't encountered anything like this before, but you have heard of a few other travelers reference these insects known as, colloquially known as assassin bugs. They're known for making massive nests that, from a distance, they all beat their wings in unison. And when they do, it creates the sound of almost like an army marching off in the distance. Usually when they make this sound, though, it means they're getting ready to go out on a hunt. Assassin bugs, they have the name assassin for a reason. They like to strike at night, and they never strike in groups less than 4.
I tell everyone. What I think to know about these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're planning on attacking us.
I think they're planning on attacking anything they can find.
Do I see any of those nests around?
Don't see a nest. but kind of knowing what to pay attention to a bit more. And Blaze, you're also able to describe somewhat of a general image of what this creature is as well. It's very wasp-like in its body, except it has a hard carapace on the outside that gives it a decently strong natural armor for insects. They have big eyes, kind of like a fly. They have a pretty nasty stinger that can inject eggs if poked with it. Their bites also have poison. But Jade, kind of paying attention a bit more for a nest, you do catch your eye on another one of these bugs. And it seems to be flying a bit deeper into the forest.
I see one right there. It's going deeper into the forest.
How close? How close was it? Is it still?
I would say it's about where you see it, Jade. It's about 60 feet out from you, and it's moving pretty quickly, kind of in a straight line away from you.
Is it going the way we have to go?
Now that is an excellent question. It is heading more in the direction of the lake than it is the mountains.
Well, it seems to be heading towards the lake. Maybe we don't have anything to worry about. Alright, let's be hopeful for once.
For the first time, you actually see Carver holding onto this bow that he had, looking around.
No, it's gone. It's past you.
Okay. Puts it back again.
Do I see any?
I mean, another thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Another thing we could potentially do, just a suggestion, is to just flip the card over and sit underneath and just wait it out the night.
Yeah.
I like that.
We can sure give that a go.
Okay. So for camp this night, you, instead of setting up a normal camp, go ahead and collectively, who actually is the strongest two people in this group? I know Carver's the strongest.
I have 16 in strength.
Okay. All right, yeah, so Jade and Carver collectively, you work together to spend a good amount of time. We don't need a roll for it, because you can take plenty of time to do this. Start to get the cart kind of shifted and turned upside down. Everyone is a little bit closer, if you're going to be all staying under it. Going to be a little tighter sleeping quarters tonight. But you have some pretty good coverage.
Just to give the others a little bit more protection, like if we put some branches and twigs and stuff, just to cover it a little bit. But I could sleep a bit further away from it and sort of hide a little bit. But at least if something does come, I can keep it away from you guys and call out instead of us all just being stuck under here.
I think it's safer if we all stay under. Actually, I have a thing I want to do. I let you know how it goes. Just can I see any ants on the ground?
Yeah, there's a few ants and other insects like that crawling around.
Good. I will cast Speak with Animals and start talking to them.
Okay.
Hi, little guys. Can you hear me? I hope I'm not imposing or anything.
Oh, well, who are you?
Oh, hello, I'm Jade. It's nice to meet you. I'm a sort of a friend of the forest, you might say.
Oh, friend of the forest, you say? I'm an animal of the forest.
Oh, that's very cool. Are you guys hungry? Do you want something? I have a bit of pie. Do you want some pie? And I will
Food for
give
the
them.
queen! Food for the queen! They all start to chant in unison.
Yeah, I give them some of this. So, question: do you guys know about those things, assassin bugs, those that just come out at night and try to assassinate, kill anyone, feed on anyone? Do you know those? Kind
Yeah,
of bee.
they kind of leave us alone because we're a little, too small. And, um, but they're pretty scary. I'd stay away from them if I were you. They sound like they're going for an attack.
That's what we're planning on do. And if you help us, I might have some more food for the queen. And you don't really have to endanger yourself or anything. Just if they will get super close, would you mind just like crawling underneath and maybe getting inside my ear, so I will be sure to wake up and just warn us a bit that they are closer, that they are coming.
Yeah, I think I can do that. You gave us some pie. That's gonna keep the queen happy for a bit.
Yeah, and you do that and you'll get some more pie. That's a promise.
Deal. Alright, boys, we got a job to do. Keep watch. Hut, 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 hut. And the ants start to kind of fall in line with each other and start to walk around. They seem to be making almost like a perimeter around the outside of the cart. A few of them starting to scatter out a little bit further to keep watch. Some of the ants start to take the little pieces of pie off towards their nest.
It's good, we're good. You can rest cover. They will let us know if anything happens.
Okay. Before we go, it depends on how we want to do
Alrighty.
this. Before we go to sleep.
As nightfall, or well, I guess it is nightfall already. As night goes through.
Before we go to sleep, I'll just turn to Dorian and to Jade and go, I forgot to do this before I left. Before we left the town. Do you I have this bottle that can have some have a spell stored inside it. And if you're going to recover them when you go to sleep, maybe you could pop a spell into here. But I just don't know whether that makes sense if we're having to be careful when it goes to waking up. So maybe, is it better to do that sort of thing in the morning, or is it better to do that before going to sleep?
I can pop you a spell. What do you want? Do you want a Misty Step? Do you want something with healing?
Well, I mean, for the group, an extra heal in a spell could be quite useful for the group. Something like Misty Step would. That's that one that you've used to sort of just pop somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's a short range teleportation sort of, yeah.
That would sort of allow me to get closer and try to swipe some things away from all of you if needed. I'm getting used to seeing people use magic. I don't use it very often, but would be happy with whatever the group thinks would be useful for me to have.
You have anything, Dorian?
I've got stuff like Arms of Hadar, Expeditious Retreat. That one is a 10-minute concentration spell that makes you can dash on your bonus action. So you basically get double your running distance. I got Shield. I got Hold Person, Flame Blade.
I don't think I could use shield. DM, this is actually more of a question out of game.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can use this bottle as a reaction to capture a spell, but I can't use it as a reaction, or can I use it as a reaction to use a reaction spell? I guess I can, right? Or do I have to be holding it in one hand?
Great question.
I mean, it says I have to be holding, but I don't know whether that means holding in my hand, because it doesn't say anywhere here saying has to be holding it in your hand, just holding it on your person.
Okay.
Can I put it in my teeth?
I think my call for this item, because it requires attunement, is going to be...
So I'm attuned to it already.
Mm-hmm.
So then my assumption...
I will say that allows you to use this as a spellcasting focus. In a way, makes me want to say that you're gonna have to be holding it to use it, but I kind of do like the idea that if it's holding a reaction spell, you can just use your reaction to cast it. I think that's what, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's a bonus action or action, you need to hold the thing and utilize it.
Yeah.
But if it's a reaction of a spell, I'll just say it can go off.
Okay, and for the reaction to stop another spell, I would have to be holding onto it as well, right?
Correct.
Good. Okay. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I really. Both of you seem to have more understanding of magic. I think that the idea of having something that I can use to protect or to support you guys all, could be very useful. Something to get me to you or to heal maybe might be worthwhile. Thoughts?
Whatever one you feel would suit you best.
I mean, shield.
Yeah, it's your
shield.
bottle.
The shield reaction would keep me up for longer and make it, but I'm at the moment not too worried about being hit. I'm more worried about maybe do you have a cure wounds or a healing word available?
I do have cure wounds, but maybe you want like Shield of Faith. It's a bonus action to cast, and it makes other people harder to hit.
Yeah, that might be actually also. No, but I've sort of got a Shield of Faith with the horn. If I blow the horn, I can also do that, right?
But do you just want cure wounds in there?
Yeah, get me a cure wound so that if I can get up to you, then at least I can help out. Just tell me what spell level slot it is, and I'll add it to the description.
I mean, I can cast it at second level if you want. It will be more healing then. Just tell me if it can hold that.
Yeah, it can hold up to level 5 actually. So, yep. Cure wounds. Level 2. Cool. Thank you, sir.
Very nice.
Good.
Nice little 2d8 plus 3 cure wounds held up in the bottle now.
Yep.
I want to say that anyone who's seen Dorian sleep, and it's probably going to be more prevalent now, whenever he sleeps, it looks like he's dead. He doesn't breathe, he doesn't do anything, he just like lays there cold.
This group is a very weird sleeping group. I think Jade's probably just looking at us going, "What the hell?"
Yeah, Jade just watches Dorian for an hour every night before falling asleep himself.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing.
I love it.
This is so cool.
You all sleep for the night, and as rest is going on, Jade, you feel an ant crawl into your ear about halfway through the night. So, Blaze, your trance would be over. As the ant crawls in your ear, Jade, and you start to wake up a bit, it kind of crawls out and is on your shoulder and seems to be kind of dancing at you. And in the distance, not too far off, I will say, kind of like north of where your cart is, you hear the sound of a rabbit in distress.
I give the ant a bit of pie and just wait out the sound for now.
Sound eventually comes to a stop. Takes a while. It's not a nice sound to just have to listen to for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, the sound finally stops. The ant hops down during this 5 minutes and keeps checking stuff out, and when the sound stops, it comes back in. And it looks like it tries to give you a thumbs up, but maybe you're just seeing things. You don't hear anything else in the night. And the ant, after it seems like it gives you a thumbs up, goes back under the cart and probably is keeping watch.
I go back to sleep.
I rolled a perception check to see if the creatures noticed you, and they got butt on their perception checks, so they noticed the animals around instead. You make it through the night uninterrupted and don't have to deal with the assassin bugs.
Good thing that you don't breathe while you're sleeping. Otherwise, they would have heard us.
Oh, do I not breathe when I sleep?
Doesn't look like it. But that makes two of us, so...
Oh, that
I'm
explains
changing
why
character.
whenever I have a one-night stand, no one ever stays in the morning.
Does that mean now I'm very unaware of A, what a one-night stand is, but on the other side, is it a one-night stand because they don't stay in the morning? Or were you already planning on having a one-night stand anyway?
I don't settle, so I always plan to have a one-night stand.
Okay.
It's just strange that they don't actually stay in the morning at all.
Yeah, but then you got to put it down to, is it the breathing or is it the quality of the one-night stand?
Maybe you'll find out one day.
I don't know what you mean.
You all get ready for travel in the next day. You are half a day travel to the base of the mountain. And then once you get to the base of the mountain, it will be a bit of a search through it to try to find the entrance to the Nerazim. As we start this day of travel, somebody should roll a d6 for me.
Go for it, Jonas.
1d6, yeah?
Correct. Okay. So, on your travels, further into, further closer to the mountains, you are kind of on a relatively nicer beaten path. It's pretty old and doesn't seem too traveled on, but back when it was a pretty active road. I would say probably a few people, at least Dorian for sure, and probably Jade as well, would know that this road was an old tradeway back in the day, about 50, 75 years ago. There used to be an outpost at the base of the mountain back when the Myriad were still causing a bunch of issues. They needed a guard post or an easier spot for guards to start looking for the Myriad if they were attacking merchants and stuff like that. So this was a little trade way to get to that guard post and get them the goods they needed, as well as for them to easily get throughout the land. But that fort is long since been destroyed and left to time. Continuing on for this half of day of travel, you eventually find your way to pretty close to the base of the mountain. You're about a few hundred feet out from it. These mountains are just towering over you. Their peaks are covered in snow, but only kind of like at the very tippy tops of them. These mountains are high, but being so close to the ocean, it's just not cold. It's too humid and not cold enough to cause a lot of snowfall lower down on the mountain. You are driving down this road for a bit when a tiefling by himself walking on the road coming the opposite direction of you, just walking, kind of gets relatively close to your cart, probably about 50 feet. He holds up his hand and kind of waves at you all.
I wave back.
He starts to walk a bit closer, and you guys are probably about 15 feet from each other now, a little bit more closer for talking distance. And the tiefling says, "Hey, people on the road, hey, it's been a while since I've seen anyone. I want to sit and chat?"
We kinda on a clock. Is there something important you want?
Oh, not really important, I guess. It's just, it's been a lonesome road, lonesome travel. Haven't seen faces in quite some time. A little closer to this tiefling, you can see, as far as tieflings go, it's pretty younger one. He has pretty bright red skin, horns that kind of swirl on the side of his head like a ram's horn. His tail is pretty thin and almost like, more like Nightcrawler from X-Men, than a big beefy demon tail. He's carrying a book and just light clothes on him that seem to be relatively fancy.
We can't really stop, but do you want to get on the cart?
Sure, it'll backtrack a bit with the way you're heading, but conversation's better than nothing. And he just kind of starts making his way onto the cart without anyone else's opinion.
Help him up.
Okay. You help him up into the cart and he sits down. It's a little cramped, but not too bad. He's a bit of a bigger tiefling, stands at about 6.5 feet tall, a good couple 100 pounds.
What brings you around here?
Oh, a travel of self-discovery.
No one can see that because Blaze is in the front of the card, you know, like actually manning the thing, but he's rolling his eyes so fucking hard right now.
This is a self-discovery. I've recently I guess, come into is not the right word. I have awoken powers in me that kind of skip every other generation. Out of my brothers and sisters, I was the lucky one.
Carver's just gonna have his hand sitting on the on his hilt of his greatsword. Yeah, just a bit nervous.
Well, that must be very exciting for you. Is it magical powers, like religious powers?
Magical, yeah.
So you went on a road to discover what you can do.
Yeah, so I went around and I was like, hey, I can do magic now. I might as well look around and find others who are like me.
Interesting. I mean, we have a little bit magic among ourselves in this group. I'm not sure if it's any similar to yours, though.
This is one of my favorite things I can do. And he he has this like little satchel across his body. He opens it up and pulls out a handful of phosphorus with a glowworm in the center. And he smashes his hands together, splattering the glowworm. But out of his hands, as he pulls them apart, comes 4 torch-sized lights that start to glow, these little glowy orbs, and he starts to like swirl them around like they were fushigi in his hands and kind of starts to juggle them a bit, and then like tosses one up and it starts to float besides the cart. This one helps. I mean, I can already kind of see in the dark, but sometimes it's helpful when others need to just find something they lost.
That's a pretty neat trick. So, what direction were you heading?
Well, I was gonna head up to Gordon, but, well, hey, now I found myself heading back south.
Being honest with you, we're just coming back from Gordon. Not the friendliest of town. If you're looking for a bit of exciting adventure, I think you might be better off heading west to Soa or Port Damali.
Ah, well, thanks for the heads up. Maybe I will. Is there anyone I could find in either of those cities for magical things?
Well, there is a tattoo person in Tusawa. He does like magical tattoos.
I'll have to check that out. Well, recently on my travels, I came up from Nicodranus and chartered a boat up to Palma Flora, stayed around for the Shark Festival. That was an interesting time. And then I went up and traveled through the Vezdewald Woods, stayed in there for a couple of a couple of weeks, and now I'm heading up towards maybe to Soa. But when I was in Palma Flora, during the festival, there was this weird guy. He was in a hood, seemed to be human, and he just walked up to me and said, "Ooh, Inatum." That's my name, Inatum. Inatum. Sorry, Inatum. Inatum's my name. Ooh, Inatum, if you open this box, you will find secrets of old that have been long lost. Good luck. And then he handed me this weird cube, and then he just walked away. Didn't even ask for anything in return. I've been trying to open it, but I can't. And he just pulls out from his satchel this tarnished greenish blue metal box. It's about each side of this cube is about 10 centimeters in size, so it's about double the size of a standard Rubik's Cube. And it's all made out of metal with this bluish green color. A few of the faces seem to have small paintings done on them. Or 4 of the faces have paintings done on them, and then the other 2 are blank. He just kind of swirls the box around and says, "You know, honestly, I'm about ready to just, like, give up on this thing, because I've been trying to open it for a few weeks now, and I don't get it."
Yeah. Someone wants to have a look?
I could give it a whirl.
Yeah. Inatum hands over the box to you, and you can make a couple of different checks for me. You can do an investigation, you can do an arcana. If you wanted do something else.
Do
try to
I'm gonna
argue
say
it
right
from.
now, my only two best skills are Arcana and Intimidation.
Perfect.
Intimidated.
Okay, 24. Looking around this box, it definitely seems to be made up of copper, and by the color of it, it's pretty damn old. Kind of hard to say exactly how old, but pretty old. There are 4 paintings on it. One is of a sun setting behind a horizon. One is of a mermaid resting atop a rock. Another is a painting of a clamshell. And the last side is painted entirely with light blue paint. The other 2 faces are just bare tarnished metal. With that Arcana, I would say you probably could tell that it's some sort of puzzle box for sure. It's not just gonna open by trying to slide a face off or use like a key or anything. It seems to be some sort of puzzle box that needs some way to open it, probably described on the box itself. And Autumn pipes up and says, I've tried smashing it, I've tried biting it, I've tried burning it. Nothing seems to work.
I mean, seeing as half of this is sort of mermaid and clams and probably water-based, burning it, probably not the way to go.
You may have a point with that, yeah.
I'm just
Didn't
gonna
think
get
about that.
my alchemy jug and just tip a bit of water on it. Just see what happens. I'm gonna make it salt water.
Start pouring salt water over it, and the light blue part of the metal almost starts to glow. It doesn't open or unlock, but it is giving a light, soft glow. And when it starts to glow, and Autumn goes, "Oh, I've never seen that before. What do you do? How water? Oh man, I guess I should have picked up on that with the mermaid and the shell and the horizon.
I mean, that's all I know. I can put salt water on it. I might be able to put normal water on it. Don't know what else to do with it.
As you continue to kind of just pour more and more salt water on it, I'm guessing kind of holding it out off of the cart and not just pouring water into the cart.
Yeah.
After about, how much water do you want it to produce?
Well, the max amount is 12 gallons. So...
Oh.
I'm just pouring and I'm just sort of absent-mindedly just doing it.
Okay. After about like 2 gallons of water or so, the cube finally starts to seem to activate in a way. The 2 panels that are blank, they start to slide open. The bright blue glow getting brighter and brighter. You almost have to turn your gaze away from it. But the panels that are blank seem to open up.
Bring it back onto the cart. Look at it.
Inside, there is a small little scroll that has a wax seal on it, and there are 4 platinum pieces and these 2 stones. They're very smooth, soft, red stones, kind of just a bright red color. Autumn just kind of goes, "Oh, opened it."
Yeah. Mage hand, push him off the cart. Go, everyone just go.
What?
Do you
only half
actually want to do
joking.
that? Yeah.
I'm just sit there going, really? Okay.
Some part of me, one little part of me is just like, yeah, fuck him. It's ours now, idiot. Giving us this, try and open it. It's ours now. Piss off, mate. But I'm playing him chaotic good, so it's like, no, stay.
I mean, it would definitely fit the chaotic side. The good side, With the box open, an Autumn reaches forward and grabs out the scroll and opens it up. Unless somebody tries to stop him. And aloud he reads, "This box is the start."
Stop you right there. Like, don't read it out loud, read it quietly. Sometimes reading things loud makes things happen. Use your brain, mate.
This is why I need to travel for a journey of self-discovery. I learned so much. Good thinking. And he silently kind of reads over it. His eyes go wide a bit with excitement. And he says, okay, I don't think this is going to activate anything. It didn't have any magical words or runes on it. It seems to just be a sentence. Without wording it exactly, essentially, this is a massive scavenger hunt, and this is the first clue. And it was left by someone named Halas Lutagron? Everyone give me history checks.
Even me.
Yeah, everyone can do it.
Good one.
I mean, if you don't want to do it, just don't do it.
I mean, this is great.
Just made
Jade,
the
you
whole
have...
group dumber.
Jade has no fucking clue who that is. That's just a random name. Actually, no, you're pretty sure you've heard this name before. It was a really powerful dwarven demigod named Halas. He was kind of a menace to society. Everyone else, you don't know of Halas. It's a name, but it doesn't ring any bells.
A dwarven demigod. He was kinda evil, made a lot of chaos in society.
The tiefling kind of goes, really, a dwarf left these behind. Well, I guess that makes sense for the craftsmanship of this box and why it was so hard to get into.
Yeah. You roll bad enough, you just loop around back to 20.
Exactly. Okay, the tiefling reaches his hand forward into the box and casts Detect Magic over the stones. What is... He gets the vibe of abjuration magic coming off of these stones, and pretty powerful abjuration magic at that. Well, another thing it did say in the note was to keep one of these stones handy for the next clue. So I think I'll take one, but you all can take the other if you'd like. You opened it. I think that's only fair.
Okay, I'm gonna squint my eyes at this tiefling and in Infernal say, who are you and why did you just randomly give some strangers this box to open?
The tiefling, with excitement, just kind of claps his hands together and goes, "Ooh!" Not really an infernal. That's just a noise. That's trans language. Let's see. He says, in response to that question, I'm just some guy who has set out on an adventure. I want to find knowledge, and a fortune would be cool, but I was just given this, and You all seemed like adventuring types. You open puzzles all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. We could have killed you. I will not lie, I was tempted.
I still am.
His face just gonna drop.
Carver's
Don't
still
trust
holding onto
strangers.
the sword on it.
Do you say it in common? Do we all understand it?
Oh shit, yeah. Obviously, Blaze would not have understood that.
Yeah. Oops. It's alright.
Why would you want to kill me?
Because you came up to us, got into our cart willingly. It was literally like a fish getting onto a ship, asking to be killed. You don't know us. We don't know you. You gave us this box. Clearly it had something special inside of it. We could have just killed you and just pushed you off somewhere.
Oh, I never really thought of it like that. Well, I guess I should thank you then for not killing me? You can keep the 4 platinum as well if that's what you need.
Back in common, I say, do we want to keep the 4 platinum?
Yep.
Everyone can see that Inatum was pretty bubbly and open, but now seems to be like a little bit more anxious and kind of like hand rubbing the back of the neck, a little just tighter body language.
Good, we killed his spirit. That's great.
What did you
What was the?
What did you say to him?
I told him not to trust every single person he comes across.
Okay.
Fair.
That's actually a good advice. He might have worded it a bit strongly, but that's actually a good advice.
What did the? Can I have a look at the scroll?
Yeah, kind of a little bit more cautiously, Inatum hands it over to you. And it reads, this box is the start of something bigger. Venture forth to the land of Obara to find what I have left behind. You may want to keep a stone to find what I have hidden, but take your own path. Halas Lutagran. Reading Obara, give me another history check. And also, if you relay this to the party, they can also do a history check.
I'll read it out loud this time.
Okay.
Jade hasn't heard of anyone.
Same, to be honest.
Oh wow.
We wasted all the 20s outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Hey, that was a mini boss fight.
Wasted.
Yeah, exactly. That was a mini boss fight. That made that fight go really nicely for you. With those rolls, Obara doesn't really ring a bell. Yeah. You could ask more people about it later when you come across them, but no one seems to really know about it.
It says here that we need at least the 1 gem to open it up, and it's quite clear that it's only 1 needed from what I gather, but does it make sense for us to I mean, this young tiefling's not going to go any, he doesn't even know. How about we take the 2 gems and 3 platinum, and you take the platinum and go and check out what you can do with yourself in the future.
You take both. Can I make a proposition?
By all means.
Okay. I will happily take the 1 platinum piece and let you all take everything else. But once I grow stronger and a little bit smarter as well, I want to be able to meet up with you all and join you and find the next piece of this puzzle. So save one of those stones for when I somehow contact you or return with you to meet up with you again. And we go on an adventure to find the next piece of the puzzle. I mean, I probably should learn more about my powers. I'm still very, very new to this. But I'd like to continue this.
Oh, I'm so conflicted.
What was
Jonas, the person, is like, oh, fuck off, I don't want you here. Dorian, the pirate, is like, yeah, finding treasure. So conflicted.
Or I can just take one of these stones and leave everything else with you all. You can take the 4 platinum and 1 stone, and I'll just go off on the adventure by myself. Again, after I get stronger, not doing that immediately.
I think if a random person handed you a box and you willingly took it with a puzzle in mind, you're probably going to need a lot of support and help to get to where you are. So I think that makes sense. If the rest of you are all okay with it, I would say that makes a lot more sense. So, what was your name again?
Inautumn.
Inautumn, I also would recommend for you to go to Soa as well. Maybe you could meet Orma Fortune. She works at the healer shop there. There's a lot more to her. I think maybe she could help you as well.
Very nice. I think I will. I appreciate it. Well, I don't mean to hold you all up too much longer then. I guess I could hop off and head up towards Tesoa.
If you're ever in Port Damali, pop up by the Free Roach orphanage. That's where I reside. We can exchange stories.
Of course. Also, here is a seal of mine, and he hands over a pretty fancy-looking family seal. And he says, "You can use this you can give it to a messenger, and they should be able to get a letter to me. Is there a way I could easily get in touch with you other than Port Damali?"
I know some people have those spells that they can reach anyone, no matter how far away they are.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this whole magic thing. Yeah, our family, some of us have magic and some of us don't. The ones that do tend to be distanced from the rest of our family.
I have a feeling that once I get a little bit stronger, I'll be able to do that kind of magic.
Oh, neato.
So, are we over the point where we discuss if we kill him or not, yeah?
Before we do, can you just get a bit of an idea as to whether he's as absent-minded about his own abilities as he's leading on?
Yeah, you can roll an insight.
I'm not very good at it.
Not very.
I'm not very good at it. Carver's sort of just sitting there still trying to work out what... Yeah, anyway, he's...
Yeah, this person, it started off bubbly, now he's kind of closed off, but now he's back to being bubbly. He's really hard to read. But with that, Inautumn waves and says, "All right, well, I guess I'll be on my way. I'll be in touch soon? Or not soon. It'll be a bit, probably. Who knows? I mean, hell, if you get the itching for the puzzle before I contact you, feel free to contact me. And he hops off the cart.
Oh, before you go,
Mm-hmm.
what was the name, or did you get a name of the person in Palmaflora?
No, I didn't. He was just a weird hooded cloaked man. He gave me the box, told me I'd find secrets long lost if I opened the box, and then walked around a corner and I tried to follow him, but he was gone.
It's almost like it's magic.
The elf has a point.
Yeah, mate, we'll totally contact you. Bye.
And he hops off the cart again and starts to walk in the opposite direction.
So we kept the box as well, right? We just gave him 1 platinum piece and sent him on his way.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep, you have the box and the 2 stones as well. At about this time, you all make your way up to the base of the mountains. And from here, it looks like the cart probably isn't going to be that good of an option to continue forward. You can try to take it, but most of this is just rocky mountains with no trails.
Rocky Mountain High. Headstar Peaks. And we don't really know how long it's going to be, correct?
Correct. I don't know if others have really read a whole lot of the book from Rakib yet. Or small, it's not, the entire book is not written out, but the section on the dwarves. The last known location of this entrance to this dwarven community has kind of been forgotten to time. It's gonna be a bit of a goose chase coming through these mountains trying to find it. These dwarves were pretty isolationist, and this was kind of like the initial grouping of dwarves on the continent of Wildemount. They stayed by themselves in this place known as Nerazim. When the calamity started to happen, they decided, well, we gotta help the world. Angels and demons and gods are fighting against one another. Can't really turn our heads to that. So they share some of their artificer knowledge with the rest of the world, as well as some of their other smithing techniques, but they keep a lot of their stuff still close to chest. That being said, the practice of artificers can be drawn back to when the Nerazim dwarfs came to help those in the calamity. A lot of their artificer secrets, though, that they knew have been kind of lost with them. After the War of the Calamity, the dwarves broke up into a few different factions, essentially. Most of them just kind of came to terms that they wouldn't be able to survive in the Nerazim forever. And those dwarves split off into the Marrow Valley to make the mountain dwarfs. Some went into the Graying Wilds to live with the elves in Uthadern. And then some of them went down into Jorhouse and went to the Underdark and made the Druger. The ones who decided to stay in Nerazim, no one really knows what happens to them. Everyone expects that they've died off because no one's heard a word from them. And no one's been able to find it either. The initial dwarves that left and split off, when they went to split, they had their memories wiped of where the entrance to this place was.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Does the book detail any sort of, for example, specific weapons that those dwarves used, or any sort of specific objects that used to lay around the entrance, anything like that? With pictures, maybe even?
There's a few sketches of these unique pickaxes that the dwarves would use. One side of it is pointed, and the other side is almost like a hoe that you would use for farming, where it's just this flat end. At this time, every other pickaxe was just double-ended spikes. But this pickaxe axe has been widely adopted ever since and was from the Nerazim. Besides that, most of their weapon hilts have some sort of engraving or insignia that says what smith made that weapon. Besides that, though, not a whole lot of other information.
So I'm going to take the book, and Jay is just going like for a minute or so, just look very closely at the picture of this pickaxe, and then he will cast locate object and try to see if it's any pickaxes or something. I don't know how it would work. Maybe not at all, but technically I have to see an object. So if it was a detailed sketch, I suppose.
Yeah, there's one pretty solid detailed sketch of one of the pickaxes in here. Within 1,000 feet of you. That's a pretty good distance. Sorry, I'm just making sure that, okay. Mountains are about that big. So from where you are at, like at the very edge of that 1,000 feet distance, you can feel a couple of those objects further south in the mountains. Kind of 1,000 feet's kind of hard to say exactly, but probably in between the R and the T is about where you're getting that ping, and we'll say that's probably close to about 1,000 feet. Maybe not as much. It's not necessarily a 1-to-1 on the map, but yes. It does pick up the pickaxes.
So this is gonna sound crazy. Blaze, but just
Seem to be cutting out a bit, Kaspi.
We've lost him. Hello?
hello.
Hey.
Okay, that seems to be a bit better.
I did lose connection for a moment.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You cut out right at the start of your suggestion or whatever you were going to suggest.
Yeah, sorry. So Blaze, this is going to sound crazy, but if you could just go that direction, I have a feeling that those pickaxes are right there. I get a ping on them.
Sure.
Alrighty. Blaze taking the lead in the party, helping to guide through this, what would normally be difficult terrain. Blaze is doing a good job of helping kind of stomp each foot into the ground, creating nice footsteps, as the base of this mountain is pretty loose rock, almost gravel-like pieces of rocks. So when climbing up this mountain, each step you kind of slide down a bit. Blaze starts to walk kind of at a diagonal and then zigzags back and forth going up the mountain to create a bit of an easier trek on the legs, and every step you take creates almost like a shelf for you to stand on, opposed to just trying to walk directly up on that. It would normally take a group a little bit longer to get through this, but with your ranger, you're able to make pretty decent time through this mountain and keep up a normal walking pace. Making through this mountain, after you get through that initial gravelly spot, it starts to turn into bigger, harder, just chunks of rock. Following the general direction that for 10 minutes that Jade is able to hold up and to keep up with you.
I can technically, if needs be, I can do it for another 10 minutes.
Cool. I'll say at about 10 minutes time, the spell goes up and you have a little bit more walking to do. You can either cast it or we can have Blaze roll a survival check with advantage to try to track the rest of the way.
It would save me a spell slot.
Okay, yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake!
You happen to just kind of like turn your head around, Blaze. You look at a rock and you look at another rock, and then you kind of lose your bearings for a quick second. You pick them back up, but you just kind of look back at Jade, kind of losing the exact direction that you were supposed to head off in. Seems that you may need to use another locate object spell.
Here it goes.
And casting it, you are able to pick up on it again and make the rest of the trip there. At this time, it's late afternoon. The sun is starting to peak, or starting to get ready to set down. The sky is starting to change to a pinkish color. As you are walking through these mountains, it's pretty standard mountain terrain. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how I want to... Off in the distance, you can just continuously hear the crows, or the sound of crows, just being obnoxious. Real obnoxious in the distance. Every time that you kind of look up at a tree in these mountains, you see a crow or a raven sitting at perched on a limb, but each tree seems to only have one bird on it. They're watching you, it seems, but they don't... they're not trying to be aggressive, but every time you kind of like walk by a tree that has one in it, it lets out a little squawk. Or let you know that it's there. And Carver, also, as you're walking in the direction that Jade and Blaze are guiding you, you feel this almost... It feels like you were homesick this entire time, and that feeling has just now finally gone away. And as you've been walking further in this direction, you almost feel more and more at home. I mean, the surroundings don't feel homely at all. It's kind of dark, grim, and creepy, but there's this presence of just easiness about you as you continue to walk towards the pickaxes that Jade has picked up. Or picked up using a spell, I should say.
Oh. I'll keep that to myself for the moment.
As time goes on, starts to go about to be evening time. Nope, my bad. I cut that. It's late afternoon, early evening, and you finally come up upon what appears to almost be like an old road kind of carved out of the mountains. There are walkways that you can kind of follow, and it seems to kind of like circle up on itself and then go up to a ramp across a rock bridge that then crosses back over. On the ground, you can see a handful of these old, broken, rusted pickaxes. They've been out and weathered for hundreds of years if these are from the era of the Calamity. It's amazing that there's even pieces of them left. There seems to be about 10 kind of scattered about on the ground here. You're headed in the right direction, it seems. Everyone give me perception checks. All pretty good perception checks. You're pretty high up in the mountains now. You can look down, and from the distance, off in the east, you can see the town of Port Damali. Off north of you, you can see the Silt Basin Pass, just this gray clay land, juxtaposed to the green flush hills of the Tayadin Byway. The ocean surrounding you, almost on every other side of this peninsula, and it's quite beautiful, quite stunning. But off in the distance, further south in the mountains, you all can see this massive, bird-like creature. Its wingspan, it's flying in the air, and its wingspan, I mean, it's hard to tell from here, but it's probably about the size of, I think a rock would be a good thing. The birds in D&D. Let's see, how big are those? Those are gargantuan? Is that the size that I actually want to shoot for here? No. Okay. It's smaller than a rock, which is nice. An ROC rock, not a actual rock. Rocks are these big, massive birds. This creature is probably about the size of, like, has the wingspan of probably 3 eagles or so. So it's pretty massive. It's this jet black bird. It has pretty big beak on it, and it has this tail that has these massive spikes on it. As it's soaring across the sky, it lets out this nasty mixture of a crow sound, but also the clicking of an insect with its mandibles snatching together. And you can just kind of hear that echo throughout. Right now, it seems to be staying further south in the mountains.
Is this from Rakib's book? They mentioned some bird that was potentially there, right?
Yes, there is some. Rakib has put some scribbles into this book about rumors from people from Palma Flora saying that there is a deep crow taking up roost in the Hearthstar Peaks. Anyone can give me a nature or animal handling check. I know animal handling is a little weird for this, but it'll be an animal check. See if you're aware of these creatures. Okay, Blaze and Dorian are pretty aware of these. They're nasty creatures. Let's go ahead and show it in tabletop. They're pretty spoopy looking. Usually, the only warning you get from this creature that it's even here is when it's coming to attack you. So the fact that it's just flying around, just out in the open, little unnerving. Pretty much the big thing about these creatures is it tends to, its presence will cause other crows and ravens to gather around and treat this thing as like a hive mind mother in a way. It creates telepathic links with other birds and can have them fight for it. And usually uses crows and ravens as watches for and lookouts and scouts for the deep crow to hunt its prey. But Jade, Dorian and Blaze are able to relay this information so everyone becomes aware of it. But I would say Jade and Carver weren't aware until told about this creature.
So do we want to go stealthy?
Yes.
Right. if you want to continue stealthily, go ahead and give me stealth checks, and your speed is slowed a little bit. You still have a ranger in your party, so you're able to move fastly, but doing it stealthily makes it a little bit harder.
Why am I even here?
That's alright. Just trip over my own feet.
Wow.
We trip over each other.
You're both looking up at this bird that you both know about and then just chatting about it. Oh, God.
Oh, Blaze, if you wanted me all alone, just come the other night.
Okay, so I think this is a good time to go ahead and move us to a new page. So,
and we roll for
this map doesn't necessarily have a spot down at the bottom side here. We're gonna say that I'll draw up, like, there is a ramp of dirt that you can climb up to this next layer. Okay, there's a ramp of dirt there that leads you up to the next level. Currently, the party is walking in from here, crosses under the bridge of stone. You have the few pickaxes kind of around you, and you start to try to stealth. Blaze, yeah, you trip over some twigs that you swore weren't there a second ago. Everyone else is trying to be stealthy, but the loose rocks and just the rougher ground here is making it kind of hard. You haven't been used to this terrain yet. Most of your travels have been more on the ground level. Whilst you're here, you notice one of the trees has more than just one crow or raven in it. It has like a swarm of them inside of this tree. And you also notice on this bush over here, there is another swarm of crows and ravens. They seem to be watching you very keenly, like their eyes are just targeted on you. You're trying to stealth, but it's pretty clear, at least these two swarms know exactly where you are and are following you. The air around you turns still. As the sun starts to set and shadow starts to creep over this almost like canyon-like trail through this mountain, the shadows start to dip over the walls. The crows in the trees start to grow a little bit restless. They're kind of hopping around a bit more on the branches, a few of them fluttering their wings a little bit, kind of pissing off a few of the other ones. They fly off the tree and peck at the other crow that fluttered its wings. Oh no, we lost Kaspi.
Well, there's always casualties.
Kaspi just disappears for no, or Jade disappears for no reason.
He just runs away. Run away!
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Hello. So, as the shadow starts to creep over, you can still see off in the distance that big, deep crow flying around in the southern side of the mountains. But then, coming on the other side of this rocky side here, you hear the sound of scratching, and then the sound of big wings beating over wind and flying from atop this rocky wall of sorts. A different deep crow flies out and lands down onto the second layer, kind of almost perching on it, opens up its mouth and just lets out a mixture of a roar and, again, an insect-like clattering. It looks pretty pissed off, and as soon as it lands, the swarms start to kick into action. I need everybody to roll me initiative.
Oh. Got all of the low rolls out of the way. Oh, no. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, you're going to be starting us off, Cat. Oh, nope, I lied. I'm sorry. Blaze is kicking us. Okay.
Minus 22, minus 22.
yeah.
Woo woo. I'm better than everyone. Peasant.
That's my future husband.
Watch me miss every shot now.
Yeah.
The swarm of ravens seems to be kicking into gear as the deep crow is standing perched atop that second layer, ready to spring into action. Who do you attack first?
The big boy.
Alrighty.
Thunder's mark. And as long as I think isn't an aberration, I'm just gonna...
Sadly, it is not.
Alright, fair enough. Let me shoot.
This Levin just bounces
I
off
have
of it.
advantage.
Oh, that's right, you do. That will hit.
I need Jonas behind me to whisper every time, you have advantage. Every fucking time.
Some solid damage goes through as it pierces through this, the thick feathers of this creature. $17 just barely hits. Good damage, though. Decent little chunk of damage done to this creature. 2 arrows shoot into it, causing it to reel a little bit, but it regains its ground.
Alright, that's all for me.
Right, Jade, where to you? The ravens are kind of up currently, out of melee attack range, and same with the big crow, but what do you do?
Yeah, that's a pickle. I'll cast Bless on 3 of my companions, because I can't attack it currently.
Dorian starts to scream in pain.
Yeah, it's odd feeling Avandra just kind of standing over and watching you, and but giving you encouragement. It's kind of odd. Anything else, Jade? That's all. I'll go to Carver then.
Okay, Carver will go into a rage.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to take out my short bow. How far away is this thing?
That is a good question. 25, but then it's up a bit. I'd say it's closer to like 40 feet. 35, 40 feet up.
40 feet up. I'll take out that short bow that I purchased a while ago from the Tabaxi from Mittens, and I will take a shot. I can't use advantage, but let's give it a go. Ho-ho! That's with Bless, which I assumed we got, and then
Yes.
It's 5 points of damage.
Alrighty, 5 points of damage, piercing damage goes through.
And then take a second shot.
Just barely hits.
6 points of damage. And Carver will look really excited at himself that he just managed to hit things, turns around to Blaze and goes, "It's simple!"
You're simple.
Ouch.
Really quick question about Bless. Even though Carver's used it, for the next minute he can continue to use it, right?
It's on everything for the minute, yeah.
Cool. Had a bit of a brain fart there.
Okay.
Just wanted to make sure I understood it right. So anything else, Carver, or end of turn?
That is his end of turn, although actually I'll step forward just to put myself between Jade and the birds nearby. That'll be my turn.
Swarm of ravens. The first one jumps out of this tree, flies down, and kind of flutters over here in front of you, Blaze. And they all try to attack and peck at you with their beaks. They got a natural 1. Oh! They do not do that. They clumsily peck into the stone wall behind you. You see some of their beaks get cracked and they let out screeches of pain. And then let's make sure this one can actually just barely. Yeah. This swarm will hop down and will give a beak attack at you, Carver. For a 14. Oh, disadvantage. 14.
14 misses.
Alrighty. Their turn, pretty uneventful. The Deep Crow, with its turn, it flies down in front of Carver and is going to make a mandible attack.
That doesn't sound good.
A 17 to hit.
Miss.
Alrighty, these mandibles, they are massive, and as they snatch just above your head, you can tell these are meant for picking and grappling things up. Don't want to get caught in those. As it misses with its bite attack, though, it lets out a very angry screech and gives 2 claws attacks out after that. A 20 and a 14. A dirty 20, not a natural 20.
20 hits.
Alrighty, you take 9 points of damage, halved down to 4.
Yup.
And it's a real angry. So we'll do Dorian's turn here, but I'm thinking, maybe we will, finish Dorian's turn and then see if Caspi's internet's working. If not, maybe we just call it here for the session.
Yeah.
But Dorian, we are to you. What would you like to do?
How high are to get up to the top here? How high is the wall?
It is it kind of differs from section to section, but most of it seems to be about a 10-foot climb.
This is definitely the
Okay, I'm
best.
going to take an attack of opportunity if it wants to take it.
Okay, it shall.
Run
Best
5
alcohol
feet
free
there,
beer.
and then run up the wall 10 feet.
Okay.
Get there.
It tries to attack you, but got a measly 11.
Yep, I've batted away half of their beaks with my quarterstaff. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Hex on Big Boy.
Sounds good.
And then, as my main action, I'm going to shoot Eldritch Blasts, both at the Big Boy.
2 Eldritch Blasts coming on out. Oh, yeah. Very nice. Both of those will smack into it. Dealing good damage.
And the one thing I don't understand with Hex is that it says you can choose a. Where is it? You choose an ability, and then that the target has disadvantage on ability checks. Ability checks aren't attacks, are they?
They aren't attacks, but if it does something like a grapple check, then it would have a disadvantage on that.
Okay, I'm gonna do strength is used for grapple attacks, and you did say it looks like they use grapple attacks.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna do disadvantage on strength attacks.
For sure. Alrighty, Dorian, anything else you want to do after running up a wall, shooting out 2 Eldritch Blasts that burst into this creature, hurting it pretty badly? It's pretty close to being bloodied.
Nope, that's my turn.
Alrighty, Blaze, we are to you.
Well, same old. Shoot at the big one.
Oh yeah, 15 damage.
And again.
Arrows just coming out in a flurry, smacking into this creature, Eldritch Blast hitting it, more arrows hitting it. It's taken quite the beating. Anything else?
No.
Alrighty, Jade, push to you.
I did not take any damage or anything when I was right.
Nope.
Correct, yeah, I know you're all good.
So I will step to the right and I will give out 2 attacks at this giant bird.
The Swarm of Raven here will have an attack of opportunity if you do that.
Oh no, scratch that. I will attack this one first then.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's max into this thing. You just kind of stab forward with your glaive and it stabs onto one of the birds in the swarm, seemingly killing one of them. It's a little bit smaller of a swarm now.
Okay, stab again.
That will hit. You take out almost every bird except for one of them in this group. This swarm just falls down to the ground after you, or just kind of stuck to your glaive. You kind of glided across the ground to take them off. One of them is left flying, but that swarm is practically dead.
That's all from me.
Carver, we're to you.
Carver will swap out to the greatsword and whack at this big bird that tried to pick him up.
Sounds good.
I'll just do a standard attack. I will. That should hit.
Yeah.
16. I'll add the 2 for rage. My rage for some reason is not on. So that should be 18. And then I'll do a second attack against it. Hopefully a 19 hit.
Oh yeah, that'll hit into it.
Ooh, that's a nice max damage on that first. Very cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Those 2 attacks really hurt it. This thing's kind of limping at this point.
And I think that's my turn. Yeah.
Alrighty. The Swarm of Ravens, 1 attack against Blaze, 1 attack against Jade. 23 against Blaze, and 12 against Jade.
My AC is 17.
And you take 4 points of damage, as one of these beaks from the swarm pecks into you. Gets some good damage off. Bites a little chunk of skin. It hurts. Doesn't feel good. But that's their turn. The Deep Crow is going to give an attack out against Carver.
Okay. Disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. Oof. You rolled real good both times. A 25 to hit.
Ouch. Yes, that hits.
You take 18 points of piercing damage, so 9 halved, and I need you to make me a strength saving throw, and I'll give it at you with advantage because of Hex.
Yeah, I think I had it at advantage anyway because of rage.
Oh, perfect.
Because of rage. I think because of rage I had it at advantage anyway. But I get the plus...
There are just multiple reasons for that advantage
but
here.
I think I get the +4 for... Yeah, I got the +4 for the bless as well, so 23.
Ah, yes.
+3
yes.
with Kaspi stuff.
Plus,
Doesn't Jade?
Oh, I think you're right.
Plus another 3, I think, so it's a 26.
Yeah, so luckily you're good. These mandibles do hit you. And they start to bite and they start to latch on kind of like below your shoulder, like in your armpits. And it starts to pick you up, but you just grab onto the mandibles and force them apart as you drop back down onto the ground. Angrily, they will then attack at you with 2 claws.
Okay.
Ooh, a 22 with disadvantage, and then a natural 1.
Yep, the 22 hits, of course.
All right, so 15 points of slashing, have that down to 7.
Oof. Okay.
Dorian. You're actually... This creature will take an opportunity attack from you, Carver, and is going to... No, never mind. He doesn't really have a good place to try to hide. It won't help him in the long run. He's fine. Dorian, we're to you.
I am gonna put down a tentacle right there as my bonus action.
I'm sorry, where do you want to put tentacle?
Tentacle right there between big boy and little boy. Yeah.
Perfect.
Don't call Carl
And
that.
as well, he's gonna slap that little raven patch with the tentacle.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Hey.
A perfect amount of health that it had left. That kills the final bird that was in that swarm. This tentacle just sprouts up from the ground with this cold, icy temperature pouring off of it. It slaps down onto this raven as it unfurls the tentacle, and it just smacks it down into the ground, pretty much flash freezing the body of this raven as if it's been dipped in liquid nitrogen.
And as my main action, I'm gonna hurl 2 Eldritch Blasts at Big Boy.
Very good.
Oh, Jesus. That was terrible.
Ooh, yeah, sadly the 14 and then the natural one don't do it for you. They smack into the feathers, but the feathers are just thick on this creature.
Yeah, because I did so badly, I'm just gonna step back a little bit.
Alrighty.
And that's my turn.
Here to you.
Well, I shoot. I miss. Oh no, I can. Is the minute still going? For bless?
Yes, it is. You have bless.
Okay, then I roll a d4 and hopefully it's at least a 2.
Yeah, there you go. You go to shoot this arrow and it seems a little off path, but then you think for a split second you see this spectral hand kind of start to guide it back to where it needs to go, and it smacks into the creature.
And again. And once again, I will be rolling with a bless.
The
It's
hand
still
tries to
necessary.
guide this arrow, but it's just not enough for this arrow, sadly. This creature is holding on, but just barely. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alrighty. Perfect timing. Jade. The swarm of ravens next to you is killed. There is the one close to Blaze, but there is the deep crow that's been pretty brutally hurt. It is a few hits away from death that's close to you. Who do you like to attack?
Yes, just give me a second. I switched to
Mhm.
my laptop. My disk storage is corrupt on my PC and it just shut down. I fucking
Of course it did. Thank you, Discord. No worries, though. Shit happens. Technical difficulties are part of online D&D.
I just don't know if I will have to set up my Windows again now because like the entire thing is just whatever. Okay, I will move first. I will move to the side and I will attack the one that is attacking Blaze.
Alrighty. That'll smack into it. Some decent damage against it. It kills off one of the crows, but there's still a pretty good amount of the swarm here. That second attack lands as it strikes onto some other crows, killing a couple more in this one. There's only like 2 crows or ravens hanging out in this swarm now. But it is still barely alive. Anything else?
Okay, yeah, that's all from me.
Okay. Carver, we are to you.
Okay, Carver will, having been just whacked by this creature twice, will get very angry, and I'm going to make... yeah, I'm going to whack it with my greatsword, recklessly, this time in anger.
Yeah, that hits.
For 18 points of damage. And,
It's just barely up.
and I'm recklessly taking a second swipe at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, this deep crow falls at the ground, dead.
And I'm going to, as a bonus action, use my second wind.
Okay.
For 7 points.
Very nice.
And I will just sort of quickly look up in the air or look around and just see if there's any sign of the other one that was flying overhead earlier, and see whether it's anywhere to be seen.
Yeah, it seems to be flying in this direction now.
Okay.
It looks like it's probably a few minutes out, because it's kind of on the opposite side of the mountain range. But it's on its way.
A few minutes out. Okay. So we've got a little bit of time to get out of here. Then I'll step up to the crow down here and say, start running. The other one's on its way, and then that will be my turn.
Alrighty. This swarm of ravens is going to just try to fly away. Carver and Blaze can give opportunity attacks. If you want.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
The arrow hits into it. Did you roll to hit, Carver?
I did a 24
Oh, sorry, that was the 24. My bad. Yep.
19 points of damage.
Yeah. Between that 31 points of damage, this last crow or raven, just there's 2 left in this pack. Carver, you slice one in half, and the arrow just pierces through the head of the other one as it tries to flutter away. And they die. Combat cleared. The other crow coming closer with every second that passes. Getting closer to the entrance of the mines of Nerazim. We will end the session here for today.
Awesome.
Yay! And now we're getting close to, once you get into the mines, it will be a bit more of your standard dungeon crawl kind of a thing. It will probably take a couple of sessions to get through. But I'm real excited for it. Emily has been drawing up for, I think about like a month now, maps for this place. So
Cool.
it'll be real fun to get into. And then once we do that, and you finish the ritual, the first little main story arc of this game will be completed. So that'll be fun. And I will say, around that time, you can expect a level up. So once you help little Johnny out, or however that goes about happening, once this arc finishes up, you will get a level up. I mean, hey, even if you don't succeed, you've done plenty of encounters to get a level up. So however that ends will
Sounds good.
result with a level up.
What would you have done if we just went, no, we don't care about little Johnny?
If you just didn't care about him, he would have transformed, and that would have been bad. There'd probably be repercussions later, but just would have done different story quests. There's plenty in this world to see, plenty to do. And then also really quick before we get off, Emily also made
New emote.
Awesome.
Again?
Yeah.
Show us, show us.
Alrighty, they're coming right now.
What a session. That was pretty cool. A lot of natural 20s.
we got Joy, I think.
Yeah, we have Joy, we have LOL, and now we have Seth.
Why do you do this to us?
The sad one does look a little devastating.
It's a little broken heart that does it for me. Like, oh.
Yes.
Cool session. We'll talk.
But yeah, I'm excited.
We'll have a bit of a chat and.
Now we got our own
see
little
how we
collection
go
of
from
emotes going.
there. Have a.
Oh, also,
safe-
dang it, days have passed. Camping has passed, and I forgot to say this during every single day of camp. Blaze Peanut looks to be fully grown at this point. So next session, I will be giving you a stat block as Peanut is now a fully grown adult. Rapidly, that happened pretty rapid, but maybe the magics that was around it as a puppy has encouraged this quick growth, but who knows?
I'm imagining like a little, like, one day we go to sleep and it's like, yeah, meh, meh. And then as soon as we wake up, it's like, woof.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
Talk later. Enjoy. Stay safe.
All right.